The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is a meathead edition of a Feel Good Friday on this August 26th, 2022. The show shall begin right now. Football is happening in full force. Last night there was 2 preseason games, one on NFL Network, one on Prime. It was our first time getting to experience the Prime experience for NFL football. It'll be the home of Thursday Night Football, I believe, for the next 11 years or something.
Yep.
We saw Kirk Herbstreit make his debut as a full-time NFL guy last night alongside Al Michaels. The entire presentation from Amazon was on full display. All the graphics, all the pre-show, the halftime show.
Right.
In the game itself, what did we learn? Well, not much.
No.
I mean, to be honest, we didn't really learn that much, except for the fact that Trey Lance probably going to take a little bit.
Yep.
Offensive line didn't seem to be great. Trey Lance was missing some throws. Seems like there were some reads that were missed, and everybody wanted to bury Trey Lance last night and say, hey, maybe they stick with Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe it's a nut. The internet was loud last night. Maybe Jimmy G has another year of teaching and tutoring Trey Lance and helping him learn another year because this guy's not played a lot of football. No. And if you look at how he looked last night, you would say, man, this guy stinks. But George Kittle came onto this show and said, hey, it might take a little bit. Like the first couple of weeks might be a little rocky, might be a little bit rough, but we'll inevitably get there. They're banking on it. I think there's some technique stuff that I've heard every single quarterback that has ever talked about throwing a football kind of goes against in the way Trey Lance throws. Great athlete. Let's assume he'll be able to figure it out. That's what I'm doing. I'm assuming that Trey Lance will be able to figure it out. I don't know if all of San Francisco 49ers fans believe that at this point. I think he will. I think Shanahan will put him in the right positions. And whenever everybody's playing full speed, it's a much different game than preseason football. So let's not overreact. Speaking of, hey, are the Texans a team?
They might be.
Dougie Mills is slinging the pill, dude.
Dog.
And last night I was watching a game, as we all were, listening to Kirk and Al do their thing. By the way, gotta stop saying that. No real, gotta stop.
Didn't even notice.
I'm so sick of hearing me say it. But no real, professional.
Yeah.
Just ho-hum.
Yep.
Another NFL game.
Yep.
The reaction about Al Michaels was going to be weird to hear Al Michaels on Thursday as opposed to Sundays because Sunday's normally biggest game of the year of the week. Thursdays have notoriously not been that at all because Thursdays are the only game on the schedule that can't be flexed because it has the entire scheduling conflict for teams to be on Thursday with the weekend afterwards and everything and everybody having to have one. So the Thursday lineup in past has not been great. Their first game, though, was a fucking great one. Chiefs. Chargers.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert. Patrick Mahomes is the first Thursday night football game 1 week after the Thursday night kickoff, which will be on NBC, which Mike Tirico and Collinsworth will be calling. I think it was just Al and Kirk are going to be good.
Yeah, 100%.
That's just what everybody needs to know.
No doubt. We never had a doubt.
Kaylee Hartung, I never knew who she was before.
No.
She'll probably settle into her role as well in a good fashion. I think that on-camera stuff, I think they did good. There will be no big complaints. The pre-show, halftime show, they're going to have to continue to work through that whole thing, doing their thing. Looked exactly the same as everything else. It just... I think Amazon probably thinking massive success last night. Got a show up on the air pre-show. Got a game on the air. There's a couple glitches with some cameras and some reruns and some replays. Microphones on, off, things like that. Natural stuff that's going to take place. This is preseason for everybody. But I think Amazon's pretty pumped about how it went last night. Nobody buried everything. Nobody went over the top how awesome it was. Just kind of slid under the radar that a game was happening. I think they were happy about that. Big story, Dougie Mills can fucking play. Toxic Table. At Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. What were you going to say there, pal?
Yeah, I just think if you look at Thursday nights moving forward, especially with the schedule they have too, Thursday night is almost going to feel like Sunday night, as opposed to in years past where it's the games always kind of stunk and it was just if something crazy happened, that's what we'd be talking about. But it does, I don't think any of us were blown away by it last night, but it also wasn't like, oh wow, this is terrible.
Yeah, none of it, which is all they were looking for.
Exactly. And I think as we get down the line and we get some of these like marquee matchups on Thursday nights, it's like a primetime game isn't going to feel like a shit show. Like it's just going to be like it's reliable, it's going to be entertaining, and it's something that I don't think we're going to have to worry about at all.
I think the games are going to be better on Thursday Night Football because Roger Goodell knows how deep Bezos' bank account is.
Yes.
Bingo.
Hey, if we give them, and not that Amazon hasn't been in business with the NFL, they have been for like 4 or 5 years now at this point. This has been a walk before you, or crawl before you walk, and then run is now having a game every single week there. And I think they're going to try to get more later in the season as well as they come up. So that relationship and partnership has been growing. But anytime a new network gets a string of games, they're going to give them good games because they would like them, their first impression to be, oh, doing business with the NFL is awesome. If it was just a bunch of trash games, there's a chance that Amazon could be a little bit like, hey, we're paying a lot of money. This is our first experience. So who knows what the future looks like? Those Saturday games are going to be up. Sunday games are going to be up. Apple's going to be trying to get involved. They got a blueprint now, I guess, with Amazon doing it. I wish they would have shook some things up, though.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You literally but if you shake something up and it sucks, all anybody's talking about today is, oh, Amazon thinks they're reinventing the coverage of football.
Right.
But it is a new platform, new era, new digital age that they are kind of trailblazing for everybody else to follow behind them. Wish they would took some shots, maybe even talk to them a couple times about you should take some shots, maybe try to change some things up. That was not the mindset, I do not believe, from the very beginning. I think they executed exactly how they wanted to, and they should be pumped up about it. As should Kirk and Al. Great chemistry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were awesome.
There was a 28-3 game was mentioned. And Kirk Herbstreit said to Al, did you call that game? And Al said, no. And Kirk, without missing a beat, said, well, we all watched. And whenever we saw both, it was like, oh, the chemistry is
there.
Not that Al Michaels has never had a problem with chemistry with anybody, or Herbstreit having a problem with chemistry with anybody, but you're always wondering if they're going to talk over each other and not get along. Seems like they're right on the fucking same page. And Kirk, we've been asking him to come to the men's league for a long time.
Years.
I've been publicly campaigning for Kirk to come to the men's league. He only played in college. He did not play in the NFL. Kirk does not think that his resume warrants any respect in the NFL. It feels like that's what he always said. He's like, how is anybody going to take me serious in the NFL? I know nothing about it. Like it's like, you don't watch it? Or do you watch it, Kirk? He's like, of course I watch it. I'm a fan. It's all guys that I know for college going in there. Yeah. I'm like, Kirk, everybody in the NFL watches College Game Day on Saturday. Everybody, okay? Everybody knows who the fuck Kirk Herbstreit is. And you are incredible at what you do. Why don't you showcase that? And come to the men's league.
Please.
That's right. Why don't you come to varsity, pal? Why don't you do that? And he's like, I don't want to. I feel like he thought he would be disrespectful almost if he was to do that because he wasn't an NFL guy. Hey, Herbie, everybody's fucking pumped you're in the NFL now.
Yeah.
Let's go and have a hell of a season. Why not be the best fucking team out there? I'm sure that's what you guys are thinking. You should go get that. You can go get that. And we're thankful you motherfuckers are in the NFL together.
And what's nice is, like, last night, they were great. And they're only going to get better. They're only going to get more comfortable. Imagine like week 13, week 14, they get a little looser. Al starts. I love when Al opens up, and I'm sure him and Kirk are going to do that together. It's going to be great.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
I thought you were really going to go farther. I started taking a drink of water.
I know. I thought about it, and then
you even saw me drinking the water. And were like, I'm stopping.
Yeah, it's
my
gonna be
sentence.
To be honest,
I'm stopping my sentence right now.
To be honest, when I talk, I didn't. I look in that direction, and I see nothing.
Oh, okay. So it's just kind of a thought.
Yeah.
There's numerous times where I think you guys think I'm making eye contact with you, and Zito's probably in my ear, and I'm thinking about something else, and then I snap back to it. I'm like, how long have I been staring at this guy? Let me go.
It's a game you got to play
this way. Yeah. How was the brain check this morning? Pretty good. Did we show him what just happened here? You think? Or
Yeah. Hopefully it's good.
What does that?
What does that mean?
Still TBD.
Why is he doing that?
Doing what?
He doesn't remember the thing. That's the issue.
Yeah.
It was just this morning.
No.
Tony, you
It's
missed your
just-
appointment?
Just some blood taking and stuff like that. Test down the line.
From your brain? Brain bleed?
That's not how blood works.
I do believe Town is right in this situation. Normally it just goes right here.
Yep.
Right here. But I'll tell you what, if they were able to just go in there
That'd
and
be
grab
sweet.
Like a
Terrible. What are you talking about? That would be the most terrible thing of all time. Did you talk to them about what it could be? Did they say like
Any one of 100 different things.
did you do any tests with them? Did they do any
Not
like-
yet.
Oh,
They gotta reach back out to me.
all right. Hey, we're pulling for you.
Good luck,
Hands
Tony.
your brain.
Go get him.
So when I'm saying that to you, that's my brain saying it to you, by the way. Your brain.
Yeah.
Right?
Brain to brain.
Because your brain is kind of taking everything in.
Basically telepathic.
Yeah, so my brain is wishing your brain good luck,
you, brain.
but it's using my mouth
Yeah,
to do
pretty
such.
cool.
It is pretty cool. It's like when a
very
brain, when somebody studies a brain,
Yeah, like anatomy.
that's a brain,
Studying a brain.
a brain. How often does that happen?
I mean, think
very
about
often.
the word. A brain named the brain.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right.
So the brain would have had to like the name.
Exactly.
Because the brain is literally what came up with the name of his fucking self. The only thing in history.
Well,
Bitch don't know
everything.
shit about Pangea.
Boom. Brain got to poop.
Where's he at, little Dickie?
I don't know. We probably
His
showing
ass
his,
cheeks
Yeah, his
all
probably
butt
over.
showing
cheeks
his butt
hanging out
cheeks
somewhere.
I tried to support
Filming.
him. I tried my best. I just couldn't take it. All right, enough of this dude's fucking asshole sitting on my television. I can't do it. You have a terrible ass too, dude. Like, what are we even?
It's still a good show. They got
Couldn't-
some moments.
Couldn't get past it.
When season one?
Season 1, season 2 also. There's the best
There was
moments.
certainly some very properly placed jokes in there, but
Sure.
I couldn't get past all the cheeks.
No, I mean, you have
Yeah.
to love seeing 15 to 16 minutes of butt cheeks per episode, and they're only 22-minute episodes, so it's...
Hey, little Dickie gets on the court though. He's a fucking dog.
he's a baller.
Absolute baller.
or if he is just flowing on a mic.
On a
Maybe
track.
we just do that.
Well,
He'll
the
get
second
back to it. He's
season.
creative. He's an artist.
Yeah. That's what they did in the second season. Instead of every episode, butt cheeks, him and Benny Blanco just spent a day together, butt naked together, and that was kind of the one episode during
See,
the
that's
second
it.
season.
So he didn't want. I wasn't the demo. He knew, I'm not the demo. He said, "Listen, people that just don't like seeing me nude all the time aren't going to like this show." He was talking directly to me. It's a good thing we have music to rely. We still got little Dickie's music we can listen to. That's very nice. And that's why he has a diverse portfolio.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he knows that some things aren't going to be for everybody.
Well, and if he releases the music from the episodes, then I think he'd get a lot more eyes because there are some bangers he puts in there that aren't his actual music.
Oh, it's like Flight of the Conchords. They got a song every
Sure.
single.
Yeah.
What a show.
What a show.
I love their honesty too, and their candid. Yeah, we just ran out of ideas. We couldn't make any more.
Sorry, they
shows.
wanted to pay us for another season. We honestly just, we actually, we unloaded all of our ideas in season one. And then they gave us a massive amount of money for season two. And we tried our best. And then season three, they said, "You want to run it back?" And we said, "We can't, mate."
do it.
We ain't got it. And most people would do a money grab right
Oh,
there,
yeah.
put some shit out like Game of Thrones did that last
Whoa.
season. Yeah, that last season. That last season when there were Starbucks cups stealing the show every
Yeah,
fucking week.
that's
They
fair.
mailed it in. They took the check. Everybody hated the author. Now you guys are going, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, it turns out the author wanted to do more. HBO wanted to do more. It was those writers, Benioff and Weiss. They said, "Nah, we're just doing this season. That's it."
And they were the ones, right?
Yep.
So that's what I'm talking about then. Those writers just did a money grab. They fucking sucked.
For sure.
Thank God House of the Dragon came back.
Thank you,
You're
House of
goddamn
Dragon.
right. And season 2's
They're
coming.
running that during football season on Sunday nights?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
What's their problem?
I know people will watch on, Tuesdays or Wednesdays when there's nothing else on.
Yeah, but why would you do that? Fucking load up the terrible times. Like,
For some
Yeah.
reason, these network shows and all these shows, they do not like doing summer. They don't do summer at all.
well, I know. It's what it feels
People are
like.
outside doing stuff.
Correct.
Are they?
Yeah, no, I know why.
It's COVID life. I don't think so.
Well, I guess not anymore, but that was always hey, people got shit to do in the summer. They don't need to.
Somebody needs something. Yeah, people don't work anymore. They don't do anything, actually.
Yeah?
They need shit all year round. And us, 49, 50 million Americans that watch the NFL season, like off season, you bring House of the Dragon in the off season. That would have been great.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because I thought I was almost going to get into that with the new Targaryens.
Yeah.
They know
Hey,
the fat
Rhaenyra.
marks are going to watch either way.
What's her name?
Rhaenyra.
Sure.
She's, what's that, Foxy?
What did Connor just call them?
What'd you say?
I just said, HBO and these networks know that the fat marks are going to watch when they want to watch. It doesn't matter what time they air it.
Aren't you a Mark?
Yeah, I'm a fat mark too. I'm not.
Ty's not.
I'm a Mark.
Yeah, you're not fat, Mark.
No.
So what are you talking about? Why
just
you
saying they know
you said
we'll-
Tubbs yesterday, didn't you? Did
Well,
you say?
he did.
What's
He
your deal?
also-
You-
That was
he was
valid.
calling Big Ben
Zeno
fat
called
the other
Lang
day,
fat,
too.
That's
so
not true.
Yeah, what's going on in this office? Everybody's just
that was a
getting
be a-
meatball to a meatball.
Seems to be a
You
culture
understood it.
thing.
So everybody just got rid of their mirrors in this building?
That's,
No.
that's what I was. That's
Is
what
that
I
what has
said.
happened?
I would have said us, but I think it would give more context to say fat marks instead of us.
Let's move on.
To your point, though, the Lord of the Rings show is coming out too, and it's like the most expensive
Rings
show
of
ever.
power.
They spent $500 million or something on
Yeah,
that?
on one season.
It's going to be good.
Fatsos are gonna love that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the fat marks are chomping at the bit.
What is Lord of the Rings? That's just like Harry Potter?
Oh no, it's like Middle Ages.
It's more like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, orcs,
Really?
goblins,
Not as
men,
not
elves.
as X-rated as Thrones though.
Right.
They
No.
got Yeah, I noticed there was a little bit of an orgy scene.
Yeah, no bang asses.
Well, because Thrones tells it how it is, and Rings does panders to the fucking public.
Oh, it's a little soft. You're
Yeah.
saying a little woke.
Yeah, they want to
super
fucking.
woke
They want
and soft.
They want like a Disney park ride someday.
Thrones
on-
is like
it's on Amazon, I think
TV,
it's gonna be
MA. Lord of the Rings like PG-13, and then Harry Potter's like G.
Whoa.
Hey, that shirt's sweet.
Come on.
See a shirt
Where'd
next
you
to
get
it.
that?
Yinzer
Go down the
360.
strip district.
No, I think you found it in a box that showed up at the office.
That thing's awesome.
Sweet shirt.
It looks cool. Yellow.
yeah.
I would never wear a yellow shirt, but
Why? It's like the sun.
They are tough.
with my breed of Caucasian with yellow, just might as well say, hey, Pat, why are you wearing ketchup and mustard outside every day?
Sure.
You know what I mean? I look like Carson Wentz rolling into that fucking press conference.
No one has
Don't
ever
ever go
looked as
full
bad as
Carson
Carson Wentz in that outfit.
Hey, why do you always wear a black tank top? Well, really, black's the only color that I can wear. These tank tops are incredibly comfortable. All I got to do is just a little bit of arms. I can get fat in the gut. Nobody notices.
Boom.
Speaking of fat in the gut, nobody notices. It's not fat these offensive linemen have.
No.
No.
They are
it's not.
shredded and yoked.
Yes.
Density.
It's a skill position.
Yeah.
We know that. You know that. This morning yesterday on Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports, Perloff, former McLovin of the Dan Patrick Show, left the Dan Patrick Show to start Maggie and Perloff on CBS Sports Network. Maggie, formerly of The Fan in New York.
Yeah, of Maggie and the Moose.
Maggie and the Moose, they come together for a daily show. Maggie had a take on offensive linemen that went as such. One good thing about offensive linemen, this is regarding Tyron Smith, left tackle, who had his hamstring get ripped off the bone, and he'll be out until at least December or something like that. She said, one good thing about offensive linemen when replacing them, it doesn't take you a long time to get acclimated. You're pushing guys around.
Okay.
I really think an O-lineman doesn't need a month to get acclimated to a new team. I think they only need a week or two. And I listened to the entire. It was wild what was being said.
Sure.
But I appreciated the fact that she was saying it because it gives us an opportunity to talk to this man. Friend of the show. We are massive fans of the founder of Man 101, Super Bowl champion, stallion of a man. Ladies and gentlemen, Stink Mark
Always good to be on. I've missed you, man. It's good to see you.
Stink, I've watched you on the internet.
Hell yeah.
Everything you've done, I've been watching. It is great to see you as well. You look better than ever right now, Stink.
Yeah, don't tell anybody, but I went vegan about 28 days ago, completely vegan, trying to be raw vegan. And,
Really?
going from a guy that was a meatgan, like all I did was eat meat. And so I went from meatgan to
Man
vegan.
101.
And I used to hate vegan people because I was like, you know how you know you're vegan? Just like this interview. Give me 20 seconds. Let me tell you about the vegans that I've gone through, right?
Yep.
So, and the thing I always thought about the people like me that just ate meat is like, I'm never trying to make a piece of broccoli out of a piece of steak. Like, you people are frauds, right? You're trying to make broccoli taste like steak. You're frauds.
Cauliflower.
But I've done it, and I'm telling you what, this is no lie. I feel freaking great after having heart surgery this off season in April. I feel really good. So, and I instantly, like in 6 days, I dropped 15 pounds. I feel great.
Let's go.
Wow, Steve!
Yeah.
Hey, doctor told you had to do something with your diet or lifestyle or no?
Yeah, the doctor, I went and saw a doctor through my friend Daryl Green, NFL's fastest man. And he said, hey, come out to Houston, see this doctor. I want you to, to do some of this stuff. So anyhow, I ended up doing it, and I've been doing it, like I said, for 28 days now. Feel great and doing really well, man. I'm really excited about kind of where my health is right now, so it's all good.
I can come body you right now, though. I can fucking toss your ass around if I wanted to right now.
No, I'm still strong as the day is long. There's no chance of that happening.
AQ Shipley, obviously former center in the NFL coach, he had something happen with his neck where the thing around his spine pinched or something, and it came out.
Right.
He was not expecting to have to be, like, they forced him into retirement. Like, he went into a meeting, he was in a game, next day he goes to a doctor, he's just trying to hear what it is, what's the thing, and they're like, you can never play another snap. Like, it came out of nowhere. Like,
Right.
devastating.
I think it's spinal stenosis is usually where the shrinking of the area where your nerve comes out. So it almost gets compacted. Your nerve ends up getting hit, and it becomes a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, though. He had just played a great game, gone out, then he goes back in, and then the next day, this guy who his entire life has been football. Like,
Right.
his entire life has been football. He thought maybe like a week or two he'll be back. Like, hey, you can't play football ever again. So it was obviously very emotional in that moment. He calls me, we're tight. We start chatting about it, and I'm trying to be as positive as possible, and the conversation's going a bit negative. It's going a bit negative. He can't find it. I said, well, the good news is, like, for the rest of your life, anytime we're doing anything, like, you have to know now I can fuck you up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because it was never like that, right? Like AQ is this big round mound of a man, uses incredible leverage. He's a tough guy from Pittsburgh. Now, for the rest of our lives together, you just got to know that I win. Like that is a whole new world. So I thought maybe I had that on you too. That is not the case.
Yeah, no. Okay. That's not gonna happen. Although, like, if you grab my fingers or you bend my knee, I mean, you're a big WWE guy, right? Yeah, so you just grab my fingers or you bend my left knee because my knee doesn't bend past about 80 degrees, 85 degrees, and that really hurts. So if you just bend that knee, I will instantly tap out, instant tap, or my fingers. You grab my fingers, I'm going to tap. By the way, AQ is built like a keg with little tiny arms and legs. Yes. Right? He's got little like Tyrannosaurus arms, Tyrannosaurus legs, and just this big giant keg body.
Yeah, and this is how he is. And if you get in there, there it is.
Boom. Yeah, there he is.
If you get in too close and those things get on you, you're fucked.
You're dead.
You're done. Guys, he can roll those hips. Those hips weren't too far from his neck. I mean, that's real close. So he was one strong unit, Attractive guy for how he's built. Yeah. And athletic. Good golfer. Great. But forever, I mean, I'm single-legging him.
Got his ass.
Into potential wheelchair.
Sorry about it.
If he, you know what I mean? Fuck around and find out, AQ. Anyways, happy you're healthy. Happy you're okay. Meatkin, hilarious. And keep it going with the vegan stuff, man. We need you around forever.
I appreciate that.
Let's start talking now about what had happened and why we love what happened with Maggie and Perloff. We watch that show on one of the TVs out here every single day.
Yep.
It's a very consistent show. I feel like it's on all the time. I'm not from New York, so I did not know who, the sports pope was for a long time. I had no idea who Chris Mad Dog Russo was. I did not know who Maggie was. But when I heard McLovin had left Dan Patrick to go do this show, I'm like, God damn, okay, this got to be a show. So now we are hearing about it for the first time. A lot of people are, because of the comment that was made by Maggie, who's been talking sports for a long time at a high level, and people need to remember that. There's a lot of meatheads and stooges out there that their immediate reaction upon hearing the name Maggie and then a sports take, they go, hey, shut up, Maggie. Like, that is just something that says she is great at a lot of things. Her offensive line take, though, couldn't have been more wrong. Stink. Why is this the case, you think, that people actually have this genuine thought about offensive linemen? Why do you think it isn't considered to be a sophisticated position like everywhere else? And why have we gotten to this point, you think, Stink?
Yeah. Well, I think number one, even coaches in the National Football League, like we always used to refer to ourselves as like this secret mushroom society. Like the head coach doesn't even know what we do. We just know. We're the only ones that know what we actually do. And it's kind of a secret. And so we always are and you know how this was when you were at practice. The O-linemen are down in one area of the field away from everybody else, like completely compartmentalized, like cows grazing over there, right? And nobody really knows what we do, and nobody really understands the skill that is involved in doing what we do. And so even when Nathaniel Hackett, the new head coach of the Denver Broncos, on his presser or in his press conference referred to his skill position players, man, I called him up and said, hey, bullshit. Like, the most skilled position in football is the offensive line. And here's what you have to understand. All five guys, if you want to be good, you can't be good individually unless all five of us are good together, unless we're all working in unison, five becoming one. And that's the beauty of it. Like, I've always loved this about offensive line play, is that all five guys have to be working in unison. And I always say, hey, all five of us can be doing the wrong thing. And if we're doing the wrong thing together, it's going to work out. We're going to be okay. But we have to be tied together. We have to work together. And it's the most unique position in football. And then the other thing I always say is, hey, everybody's an exceptional athlete. You play in the National Football League, you're an exceptional athlete. It doesn't matter what position you play, okay? But we are considered, or we are, as a group, in totality, the worst athletes on the football field.
I like that. Worse than the punters? Worse than the punters, you think?
Yes.
Okay, good.
You guys are more athletic than the majority of us. You guys are more athletic than us. So we're the worst. We're the worst. And yet, I always find this fascinating, Pat, because you cover all sports and you're very versed and you're very knowledgeable. As is Maggie. This wasn't like dogging Maggie. This was just how people in general see playing offensive line. They just see girth. They just see size, and they think that that's all it is you're moving guys around. I would argue right now that Larry Allen, pound for pound, might be the best, most athletic player that's ever played in the National Football League. You would see guys that played against Larry Allen. Now, first off, 6'4", 335 pounds, probably ran the 4.7 40s, could slam dunk a basketball flat-footed and bench press 700 pounds. We used to refer to him as the landlord because he owned the fucking space between center and tackle. He owned that space. And I have seen multiple guys come down with a Larry Allen flu before they had to play against Larry Allen. Like, that was all of a sudden like, hey, man, I'm not feeling really good. I might have to sit this one out. That he was that dominant a football player and that dominant an athlete. But think about this. For the majority, like, I'm not talking about the outliers, but for the majority of us, every day that you play, you're lined up against a guy who's a better athlete than you. And name one other position where the guy who is the better athlete is the guy who's the worst athlete is expected to win 100% of the battles. So if I play you and you're a better athlete than me, and I win or whip your ass 65 out of 66 times, but you get one sack against me, I'm a piece of shit, and you go to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but right? I'm celebrating too. I'm celebrating too.
Right. Well, you got grass stains on your freaking back of your jersey, and yet you're going to celebrate the sack, and that's all anybody will ever remember. Yeah. Like, that's why all offensive linemen live in this state of paranoia. Nothing good can happen to me as a player. Nothing. I hate Monday Night Football. I hate Sunday Night Football. I don't want to be in the spotlight. I want none of it because the only thing that can happen to me is bad. That's it. I mean, think you win a game, you put 200 yards rushing up, you dominate, your quarterback doesn't get hit, and the only thing you are is a tagline at the end of the game. Hey, got to thank the big fellas up front. Those Hogs did great. Now let's talk about me. Right? That's how they operate. So, you think about this. You cover the NBA. A point guard gets hooked up on a switch against Nikola Jokic, blows by him, lays it up. We don't say, hey, take Nikola Jokic out. He's a piece of shit. He's no good. No, you say it was a great switch. The better athlete got him. Like every other position, hey, man, when you're a supremely gifted tight end, the one-on-one coverage is not some D lineman that you're a better athlete. It's a safety. It's like athletes, corners and wide receivers, like athletes play against each other. That's how it works. An offensive line, you're playing against a more gifted athlete, and you're expected to win 100% of the battles. That's why it's the most skilled position in football. Leverage is created. Your ability, moving a man from point A to point B is skill and technique. It's leverage that you create. It's footwork. It's hand placement. It's hat placement. It's all those things. And you have got to be very versed at not only what you're doing, but what the guys beside you are doing so that you can work in unison together to be good.
Hey, we love what you just did right there. Yeah. That was awesome. I mean, you just, let's say positions were running for a political office, and they all had to get on a podium and talk about why their position fucking matters. What you just did right there, offensive lineman will win the position.
Yeah, that's right.
That was awesome. That was a great breakdown that I don't think I've ever heard before, and a lot of people haven't. And I think the perceived notion of offensive lineman just pushing guys around, Maggie said in there, which it is, ultimately, if you were to zoom out, it is pushing guys around. But the amount of muscle memory and everything and the work, I think you feel as one of the only talking points for offensive linemen out there publicly is like, hey, there's a lot of shit happening there that might just look mundane and we don't ever talk about. Let's go ahead and have some respect for that. With the Tyron Smith situation, I mean, he's a guy, 8-time Pro Bowler. Left tackle would be the position that you could kind of isolate, right? With the other four, still going to be a problem. Still everybody have to be on the same page, though, Stink?
Yeah. There's a little bit more out there. I used to call out there being in the water, as opposed to being in the concrete, especially with wide receivers. They're out there playing around in the water. Those guys are in the concrete. The left tackle position, even the right tackle today, different than in my day, right? Where you would have a right tackle that was just kind of a mauler, and you'd have a left tackle that could move, that was really, pretty gifted athlete. Now, with the way these teams are all in nickel, which you take a linebacker out, you bring in another cornerback, you really have this kind of NASCAR package where you're just rushing the passer. Both tackles now have to be pretty gifted. And there are some guys like Lane Johnson at the right tackle position is a gifted guy athletically, incredibly gifted. But the left tackle historically has been that one where you're facing the Dwight Freeneys. You played with Dwight Freeney. absolute freak shows. These guys nowadays, I mean, it's not uncommon for these DNs to run 4.38, 4.4. I mean, it's in linebackers and things of that nature. So the game is just completely different, and you've got to be so gifted as an athlete. Let me see your set. Like, this is good. McAfee's got a pretty good set. He knows.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then you got to change the setup, right? You can't be in the same spot all the time. Now you got to up kick a little bit, right? You got to be inside out.
I'm like Joe Tom. Hey,
change it up.
no, I'm like Joe Tom. I'm just trying to get to my spot.
You're just trying to get to your spot.
Yeah, I'm just getting my.
Nice. Well, see, but that one was a longer set simply because you probably had a 9 technique versus a 5
Exactly,
technique. So
Steve.
you had to get a little bit
Wide
deeper
9,
there.
actually.
So,
Every time I do this, nobody gives it credit.
All right, go ahead. Give me it.
Boom!
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that? Huh?
That's called the take 2 principle right there. Push him out on the draw.
Of course.
Push him out on the draw. Bam. Climb, get the linebacker out. Seal him inside. I mean, it's perfect technique. I tell you, here's the other thing. From just a pure pass protection standpoint, some of the things that we used to do as players, I would memorize not only the drops of the quarterback, like 7-step drop, 5-step drop, 3-step drops are called, but not only the depth of drop, but also the timing of the route combination. So when you hear the timing of the route combination, you can start to understand, like, hey man, this 5-step drop has a hitch to it. So I actually have to take a legitimate kind of pass pro set. But this 5-step drop, they all go, man, that ball is gone. He hits the 5th step. There is no hitch. There's no hitching up, moving up in the pocket. That ball is gone. So now I can run block effectively a 5-step drop. And that ultimately takes me and creates where, like when I'm consulting for teams, I always talk about taking the passive out of pass protection. So now all of a sudden I can be the aggressor in a pure passing set where now the offense or the defensive lineman goes, what's going on? Like this guy just went run block on me and they're throwing the football. And so now you get to dictate to the defense what we're doing as an offense. So then it becomes the mental aspect of that game is how do I eliminate, and this is what I always tell teams, you've got to sit there and say, if we're going to throw it 35 times, how can I eliminate 22 of those to make my guys automatically win? And that has to do with understanding the depth, the route combination, the timing of the football, how many run action plays versus play action plays do we have, how many boot keeps do we, all that kind of stuff, how many 3 steps versus 5 steps where it's gone. So there's a lot of mental processing of the game, which I call either cheating the game or funneling guys where I want them to be to give me a chance as a lesser athlete to win those battles. That's why there's such a skill involved and such a knowledge involved in playing this game.
I agree. There's different techniques. There's a lot of work. There's chess on the line. There's strategies, everything. You guys just never talk. So nobody really knows that. Happy
Right.
This has become a moment where we could learn. Stink, we miss you. We're happy you're healthy. It's great seeing you, brother.
It's great being on with you. Great seeing you guys. And anytime, I'm a phone call away, brother.
God, I'm happy you're good. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Schlereth. How many years did he play offensive line? I should have looked that up.
A long time.
We used to say that every time. Mm-hmm. I forget what it was. Long time. All right, let's get to a break. Happy we were able to cover that. I think a lot of people normally file into our show about this time, so I wanted to kind of delay before 4 minutes. We'll get to a break. Mm-hmm. We'll be back on the other side. Obviously, there is huge news. We don't have
12 years.
this thing's running.
Yeah, 12.
3 Super Bowls. 4 Super Bowls.
Oh, that goddamn ox again? I mean, we could do the music.
No problem.
I don't know. This isn't working. I don't think this is working. Is it going on your end? So we got no music.
Playing back there, or?
I got some good friends that live down the street. All right, we'll be back in 4 minutes with the Pat McAfee Show here on this Feel Good Friday, August 26, 2022. See you in a bit. Joining us now is a man who got to experience that at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Got to experience it in the NFL. Now he's on television. He's this man's brother-in-law. He's obviously incredibly handsome. Ladies and gentlemen, Brady Quinn. Yay! Holy hell. Jesus. You look like that all the time.
I don't know if you guys can see what's behind me. I think AJ might be more familiar with this picture. So hopefully AJ can elaborate or add some context to all this.
Is that Chopper up over your left ear?
That's Chopper. Yeah, that's
Chopper. AJ, what?
How'd you get that in your background?
What happened here? So,
well, this is a golf cart submerged.
What? Why are you fully dressed underwater?
Thank you, Brady. Okay. Brady, I mean, yeah, you gotta, I guess we have to mention it, Brady. This is, Pat, you know, this golf cart, the e-brake just didn't work on me. I was parking close to the green. I rode that joker right into the pond because it took a hard right turn. This was like 12 years ago. I jumped in instantly. Oz is the other guy looking for his cigs. There was no help. And then Brady and Chopper were in my group. They came up about 10 seconds later, and they both just dove in instantly and started helping.
Yeah. So you, hold on,
we
Brady.
did not finish our round.
You drove this cart directly into this pond.
Well,
you are a fucking menace behind the wheel, AJ. You drive with both feet. You sleep. Your hands are all deformed because of your broken fingers. You're driving golf carts into ponds. Straight up. Are you blacked out drunk in this thing?
No, I wish I was. That's the problem. I was not.
Sober.
Oh my God.
This guy. I was trying to get there.
Brady, how do you let this guy marry your sister? How do you let this guy marry your sister, Brady?
Let me add some more context to all of this, okay? This is at Rattlesnake Ridge. This was the first year, our first fundraiser for my foundation, the Third and Goal Foundation, which helps support wounded vets. So
Great
AJ
cause.
was kind enough to come out and obviously support the cause. Now, I guarantee you he was not sober for this because we actually took a party bus to Rattlesnake Ridge.
Oh, AJ, boozing and driving.
No one was sober at this thing.
What I'm saying is, I played many times with many more drinks in me and didn't wreck a cart, is all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Sure. All right. Chopper hopping in there, though. Is he scuba diving?
Well, he dove to the bottom and grabbed some clubs.
He did. He said all you had to do was open your eyes in that murky water and you could find whatever you need to down there. All those eyes were burning afterwards.
Today's the last day to get tickets for Poochella. Woo! Further Brand, which is my wife and a couple of her ladies' foundation, having their first festival tomorrow here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I believe there is a pretty good amount of people going.
Here we go.
Last day to get tickets. Come celebrate. Raise some money to help pay and fund for canines' cancer treatments, basically. The reason how Further Brand came together and why this all got started and why Poochella and other things are happening, and I think they have helped like 50 dogs and families already pay for cancer treatments. My dog Valerie, who I think a lot of people have seen on the internet, she's half Shar-Pei, half pit bull. She was a street dog. Sam found her in the kennel and got her whenever she was, I don't know how many months she was, or maybe a little bit older than that. And then when Sam decided just to move into my house, which happened, she has never left, basically, is what happened. It was a right move, happy it happened. There was no real argument out of me. But then she said, hey, I got a dog, that I have, is it okay? And this dog came into my house, and it's the first dog that has ever, me and this dog,
connect.
Me and this dog, really, really, I fucking love this dog, Valerie. I've cried numerous times because of this dog. I think, and it's going to sound very shallow, 90% of the tears that my life has had over the last I'm 35, so 20 years, I'll say, is because of this dog, Valerie, and what she's battled through. The first time she got diagnosed with a cancer lump, it was right on her head. And we could feel it. We could see her acting differently. And we take her in, they investigate, they look at it, they tell us what it is. And we thought that was it. Like, oh my God, she's dead. And it was they said there is treatment. They gave us the treatment price. And it was like a couple $1,000, like $3,000-$4,000. And I'm very lucky and fortunate to be in a position where it was like, yeah, fucking, we're doing that. Let's keep Valerie around. But my wife and I literally started thinking back, like, if that was my mom and dad when I was growing up and they told her that was the price, they would have not been able to afford that. If Sam's parents, the exact same thing, would not have been able to afford that. So the amount of dog parents that have probably just thrown in the towel because of the sheer price of these treatments is something that we should fix. That's Valerie right there. I fucking love that dog, man. What's up, girl?
Love you, Val.
What's up, girl? She's better than ever. She was in the hospital a couple weeks ago. That took me out.
All the way back?
She was bad. Nope, it wasn't cancer. She was battling against something else.
No, she's all the way back.
All the way
now.
back. Yeah, I had to change some food. She was eating some food that she wasn't supposed to have. I had to get some new ones. Had an allergic reaction. I fucking love that dog. So Sam started For the Brand basically to, pay for people's treatments so they can extend happiness with their dogs. And she has had the opportunity, and by we, I mean, I just see I get to see the kind of the benefits of it. Dogs from California, New York, Florida. I think she has literally helped families all across the country.
Awesome.
I have donated a lot of money to this because it's something I believe in, because those extra moments with the dog, like, cool. And now she's starting to do events to continue to raise money. Pucella is her biggest, and it's going to be great. I can't wait to get down there tomorrow. There's a chance Zito's on a grill at one point tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's a chance Zito's going to be on a grill. Yeah. Connor will be there getting chewed out by children, I think. Yeah. It should be a blast here in Indianapolis. If you're not here, we completely understand. If you are in town, I mean, there's a Colts game tomorrow night. Swing by during the day. It should be a blast. It should be like a little carnival festival type thing. I do not know everything going on tomorrow, but it sounds like it's going to be fucking awesome.
And the venue is unbelievable too. Where it's at, like right next to the canal, the whole nine.
There's going to be, it's good for kids. Bring your dogs. There'll be obviously tents and fans and drinks and snacks and treats and everything. Should be a blast. I did not do any of the setup though, so I want none of the credit for any of this. Sure. Sam and her team of ladies deserve all of the credit for this setup, and I just can't wait to go enjoy it. And if you have time tomorrow, come join us. And where's Zito? Zito, are you on there? Did you?
They haven't put my photo on there yet, but I'm probably going to be in that.
There's been
where the hot dog is.
Yeah. I have been an ear, for my wife to talk about some shit, vent about some stuff that's going on. The staffing thing's becoming a real thing.
Really?
A couple of these vendors have had to back out last second, had to get new vendors because they couldn't find anybody to staff and do the work or anything. It's not just this. It's happening everywhere. And I don't like to give people excuses, but how the fuck could we not have expected this when you let people sit home, chill for fucking 2 years, give them money? It's going to be natural that some people just say like, oh, I don't want to go out there and do something that I don't enjoy doing at all for somebody else and not get paid a lot of money. I'm making less money now than I was just given to be hanging out of my house a couple months ago. I can understand how this has become something. We got to beat this though. So this we got to get back to being a world here, being a society. And I don't know how we help out, but if we figure it out, we fucking will.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
at
we
some
will.
point.
Absolutely. By the way, I overpay for everything.
Yeah.
So I'm trying my best.
I am doing your damnedest.
I will tip so much. I'll even write on checks like, thank you for just being here. Big ass tip. And hopefully that just like, all right, here's another motivation for I'll keep doing this terrible job that's no fun, that I personally could never do, but the world needs it. I think that is a rippling effect still from Mr. 19 that came through and fucking did what we hope nothing ever does again.
Yes.
I can't believe we lived through that.
Pretty unbelievable. It's already in history books.
Pretty surreal.
Yeah, crazy.
Last 2 years, really surreal. And then the studies about, we'll never know the studies. Those will be kept quiet so much because the people that really did all this shit to everybody are the people that are in charge of if we hear the studies or not.
And there are lawsuits now too. So
what's that?
I mean, there's a couple, vaccine companies who are suing each other because of, the technology and.
Oh, really?
Copyright infringement or patent infringement, whatever.
Oh, so they're like, hey, ours didn't work, yours didn't either, but you stole what we
you copied ours.
You were stolen.
Yeah, basically.
By the way, that might be misinformation. I have no idea. That was just a joke.
Lawsuit is happening.
I am just. That was
kidding. Okay,
just a joke. Okay, I got the Facciacci.
That's right.
Me too.
I got the Facciacci. Had to for work. I mean, would I have if I didn't have to? No. Anybody that's ever met me? knows that if everybody's telling me to do something, there's 0% chance I'm going to do it. Had to do it for work, so I said, fuck it. All right, I will do it. Then I got 104.5 degree fever just 3 weeks later.
Got it twice.
Before I almost died.
Yeah.
But I did it. I did my part, whatever the fuck. It's 1 year anniversary or what? Of my 104.5 degree fever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I beat it.
You did it.
I should have went to a hospital.
Yeah.
Probably.
But what would they have
Who
done at
knows
the
what
hospital?
happened there?
All right, see,
Yeah,
that's the problem.
exactly.
That is the absolute problem. 12:47 here on this Friday, August 26th. I feel like this is normally a time that people have already kind of checked into the show. At the beginning of the show, not as many here, and then the second hour kind of gets going. So I wanted to save this particular topic until a time where the most amount of people would be watching, because I got a lot of tweets last night telling me, "You gonna be quiet about this? You gonna be quiet about this?" What is going on with Matt Araiza, the punter for the Buffalo Bills? He and others claimed him as the punt god, was his nickname. He is obviously disgusting. The sounds of it are terrible. That is not something that any position in football or any league or any human would want to be associated, humans that do that particular act. I obviously don't know all of the details. I don't know who does, but reading the initial reports and what is being said is terrible. And I have no clue how this pans out. I guess he is with the team tonight. The Buffalo Bills take on the Carolina Panthers in Carolina tonight, alongside a bunch of other games that are taking place, 3 other games. So that is my thoughts on it. I am just like every other human that read that and was like, that's disgusting. Then you start looking into the rules and laws in California. Seems like this is going to be, it's a civil thing now. It's going to be criminal. It is terrible. I wish that upon nobody. Hate that our position is even a part of it. And I hate that I put a guy over and this happens just a couple weeks ago. The Bills allegedly knew about this a month ago or something like that. You would have to think that a lot of the NFL teams who hire investigators, former high-end police officers to protect their team and do questions before the season or before the combine process with the draft prospects, you would assume that other teams also knew about this, which might also add into why he dropped down the draft board. The Baltimore Ravens only had Jordan Stout on their draft board. And if you remember, Harbaugh came out and said, our team has made a stance here in the last decade that we're not even taking chances on anybody that can potentially do that. You add that into the thought. Did teams know this before draft, before he came into the NFL? There's a lot to unfold. It's all very, very serious, and I don't think any of us know what the future looks like. But it seems to be like we are probably not going to see Matt Araiza ever again. Just from the sounds of it right now. There's an entire process to this that we all have to remember. It gets difficult to remember because the world that we live in, it seems like a lot of research has been done already on the prosecuting side with text messages and phone calls with investigators next to Doe, the victim in this situation. So I, alongside everybody else, saw it and was disgusted and flabbergasted by it. And I don't know what else to say other than you read through it and every new piece of information, you're like, oh my God, that is terrible. How's that happening? But you would assume that is no knowledge from people around the NFL before the draft.
Yeah, it's awful. And apparently the Bills were not aware, at least I read, they were not aware of this when they drafted him, but were made aware of it like a month ago. And obviously it's not the same thing. They're two completely different things, but I just feel like this coming on the heels of all the Deshaun Watson stuff, like they're not going to just let this like slip through the cracks where stuff like this might have in the past. You know, it's like luckily we're in a time right now where it's like they're going to get to the bottom of this, and if he is to be held responsible, like I think you're right, we're probably not going to see him around ever again.
This is a civil lawsuit happening right now, but if you watch any criminal law docs or TV shows, that does not mean that the criminal can't come afterwards.
No.
There's actually numerous situations where the prosecuting attorney sits in on the civil court case and hears anything if they can have in there, and then they decide during the case almost that we are also pressing criminal charges that you would have to assume Araiza and the 2 other men that were also San Diego State football players, I believe.
Yes.
And there's numerous quotes from students. Like everybody had heard about this and knew about this around campus. A lot of people were wondering how this wasn't something that was being taken seriously. And he was being celebrated a lot.
Oh yeah,
like a lot.
He was the star player on their team.
Wall Street Journal wrote an article the first punter ever to be marketable or something.
That's right,
like that.
yeah.
So there's a lot of situations that he was being put in the spotlight. And I assume around San Diego State and the victim's family, it was like, that was probably something that was very, very serious. Once again, we do not know the entire story. Nobody does. But what we are reading and hearing about is certainly fucking alarming and disgusting.
Yeah, and like we saw with Watson, the civil to criminal trials, like how they started with the civil, and then there was 2 or 3 counties that filed the criminal where he had to move and do that entire process. But even if the Bills did find out a month ago, like why would they release the other punter he was in a competition with this week?
That's what I don't know.
Like that's what doesn't make any sense to me, because like if sure they might not have known when they drafted him and everything, but they definitely knew within the last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks, and then 2 days ago is when they released Hack, and then the Colts picked him up.
So I did not hear that the Bills did not know whenever the draft happened. That's why it's like an advantage to have good people working for your business. Like that's an advantage. If the Ravens knew that this was happening and they were going to get a punter, they knew Sam Cook probably done, we're moving on to a punter, that particular unit in the building, whether it's the security unit, the investigative unit, the psychology unit, whatever the unit is, that is a massive advantage if they were able to find that out. Now, not giving that information to everybody is certainly something to think about, but the Buffalo Bills, those are going to be some hard questions.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's not going to go away anytime soon. This is the beginning of the season, and it feels like we're just learning about it. There's going to be more and more details that go out. We assume it's all going to be terrible, and we apologize mightily to anybody that's been affected. Let's move on. People are calling for Aaron Donald to be suspended games because of actions in a preseason practice. Not just preseason, which doesn't matter, a preseason practice. A man named Aaron Donald, who everybody talks about being a hero. A man who said, ring me, and won the Super Bowl for the Los Angeles Rams. A man who saved a guy's life on the south side of Pittsburgh shortly after winning a Super Bowl in the offseason. A man who has been entitled the greatest football player on earth. Every single time the Rams are on TV, you're going to hear 15 to 25 minutes about how great Aaron Donald is at football, because Aaron Donald makes every player he plays against shit their pants the night before and during the operation because how good he is at football, how intense he is. And now, this son of a bitch, Aaron Donald, is taking helmets off people's heads and swinging them around in a preseason practice. Can't have it.
Can't have it.
Suspend him every preseason game for the rest of his career.
Yeah. Right.
Aaron, you think you're so fucking tough? You want to live by your own code? You want to swing helmets in preseason practice? Hope you're happy. You never get to play in a preseason football game again.
Sorry.
Hope it was worth it.
Wow.
Neat.
Good luck sleeping tonight, Aaron. You fucking loser. Never going to see you in a preseason football game ever again. Now, there's a lot of people around the NFL media world that are calling for him to be suspended actual games for an incident that happened in an actual preseason practice. Those people are wild, because I would like those people to also go to bat for me when I'm kicking 65 and 70-yard field goals in practice, that I need to be fucking paid like the greatest kicker of all time. I need to be told that whenever a fight breaks out in our practice amongst our own team, who's going to get suspended the most for who does what, because I would like to join the other team that doesn't get suspended for practice reps. If we start punishing practice reps, even though it's been made public and national thing, I think you're going one thing down another. Are we starting to negotiate then for what happens in practice? Because I was always told the game's the game. Sunday's what matters. It's a wild time to be alive, and a lot of people, I think, are being exposed for not really understanding the game, not understanding how the league works. Let's assume Aaron's not suspended. We're back in 6. Boom, boom, boom. That came out of nowhere. Why people calling for him to be suspended? There's precedent. There's precedent. Remember when old Mason Rudolph got his own helmet bunked off his head?
That's right.
On Thursday Night Football?
Yeah,
that was a game.
A little different.
That's primetime football. This is practice. We've seen fights at every single joint practice thus far.
Yeah.
So is there precedent for getting into a fight in regular games? Yes.
Sure.
Does that also count for all these joint practices when guys are throwing punches? Are we punishing them the same as if they were to do that
I don't think so.
in a regular game? So it's just what about that Thad Moss cracked back cut? Where we need to kick him out of the league.
forever.
So we got past that, but are there people doing that in practice too? Do they What are people talking about, man? Why is everybody like this?
Yeah,
What's the deal? Why do we got to be like this?
I don't know, but they're practicing against the Bengals, and just thinking about it being against the Patriots makes me so freaking mad. Like, I don't even know what I would do if Aaron Donald did that to Cole Strange. You know, I would want him kicked off the entire NFL. I want all of his accolades stripped. I want his Super Bowl ring in.
You're talking about preseason's accolades.
Yeah.
No, you're not talking about regular season.
I'm talking about everything.
No.
I want his Super Bowl ring.
This happened in preseason.
I want his Super Bowl ring in a jail cell.
His preseason stats should be wiped clean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about it,
You're
Aaron.
right.
And regular season.
Guess what? Aaron Donald, really good, right? Super Bowl champion?
Yeah.
0 tackles ever in preseason because it just got wiped off the books. Bad guy.
See if you get a gold jacket.
Yeah. Good luck explaining
it?
that, Aaron. Fucking loser.
It's also a Super Bowl rematch. Like,
Why are they practicing
It
together?
makes no sense because you would assume like, oh yeah, these guys are going to be fighting.
Well, it's funny you say that because the first day they were practicing, it was actually being reported as, wow, this is a joint practice that we never ever see before. Paul Dahn Jr., PDJ, Bengals and Rams conduct maybe the most polite joint practice in history. Only one minor altercation, ranking 2 of 10 on the scale. Wasn't a melee, which everybody else had, and nobody was being punished and suspended games for, right?
Sure.
Okay. After Burrow was lightly tapped by Aaron Donald, who said, listen, we're still playing football. Everything else was competitive but relatively friendly, says PDJ. Everybody on the team saw that tweet and was like, oh, this guy just called our practice soft. Because it seems like yesterday they really amplified some things and turned it up a bit. And you've heard a lot of players come out and say, these joint practices are the devil's work. These joint practices are set up for fights. That's all it is. Now, coaches love it, evaluators love it because they get a chance to see 2 teams of shit that they can judge and pick from. The bottom half of the roster, you don't just see them in the roster or in a live preseason game in the fourth quarter in some situations. You're seeing guys in everything, so the teams love it. Players, though, know going in, I'm going to fight somebody today.
Yep.
It's always a fight. Always gonna be a fight. When there's a lot of money on the line, when there's a lot to prove on the line, there's only a limited amount of spots, and you're going against somebody on another team that you're not supposed to care about, and there's probably coaches telling you, let's fucking go.
Yeah,
Today's
right.
the day we go. And if you involve a very physical sport, there's gonna get tensions, they're gonna get too high, they're gonna boil, and then there's gonna be shit. And that's just kind of what every joint practice is. That's why the Aaron Donald thing, people going, suspend him forever. It's like we've literally seen 22 fights over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We've been almost bringing out, it's time! They might as well do that for these joint practices.
Yeah.
Fly that fucking guy around, have him kick off every joint practice because that's what's going to take place. But I understand seeing Aaron Donald, who is Aaron Donald, swinging a helmet can be a bit alarming. But these motherfuckers have been fighting every single day and every single joint practice. I haven't heard a single thing from anybody other than, oh, did you see them boys get some shots?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's really all it's been. So it's wild, the reaction.
Yeah, Patriots-Panthers practice, and I think it was back-to-back
Every
days
day.
on the first play of their joint
Yeah,
practice.
it's a setup for a fight. That's what it is. That's all it is. All right, we're back in about 2 minutes with AJ Hawk. Can't wait to chit-chat with him about everything happening. Tonight, there is 4 preseason games that we shall watch. Last night there was 2. This weekend leads into a lot of starters playing.
Yeah.
Some teams not playing anybody. That's kind of their thing. Some teams playing people because there's a long window before actual football starts. What are we going to do? Oh, I know. Put on a terrible show. We're back in 2 minutes. We'll see you then.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show on this Meathead Feel Good Friday, August 26th, 2022. Hour 2 commences right now. Football! Is it too much?
No.
Because normally I have a pretty good little lead in with football is what we're here to talk about. But as the beat was dropping there, this is the first time I've really looked up to watch you guys do it. Full passion and energy. So we will never take anything away from anybody that does something passionately and energetically.
Sure.
I think we found it here with football.
Yeah, I agree too.
You think so? At Tone Diggs, you like
Got to
that?
be something along those lines. Football works great. Could have been like, no, I'm not going to throw out any other stupid ideas because football's great.
Yeah, we don't need to right now.
Yeah.
Now's not the time to throw out any ideas. The Talks the Table at Ty Schmidt and at Boston Connor seems like you're ready to throw one out.
Well, once football season ends, maybe after like the Super Bowl, we just change to bullshit
Yeah, because that's what we're about to talk about.
for 6 months.
Kind of sets the tone for everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we ever do a show live, which we are planning on doing, whenever we lead off live, hello, it is blah, 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 we're live and this show begins now. We assume that there'll be an entire football.
Right.
That would be a sick
That'd be
moment.
sweet.
Yeah, and
That'd be
bullshit
sweet.
works too. For
Okay, so we keep doing this until that moment.
Have to.
I do want to say, I love football. Still miss Let's Ride, but I love football.
I do miss
That's
that.
right, got played out.
It did.
Yeah, and that wasn't
That
our
wasn't
fault.
our fault.
Kinda.
Nope. It was college internet people.
Yeah, it was college Twitters. I agree.
So social media people, you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Internet people.
But we were certainly,
Had a big.
yeah, we were kind of
We were
pushing.
kind of the kindling and the gasoline.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of saw the fire and we said, oh shit, man.
Throw some lighter fluid on there, man. Let's get it bigger, man.
And we did. And then other people that are much bigger than us did it as well.
Sure.
And then, so we were kind of a part of the process of fucking that one up.
I guess. I mean, what happens if they start doing the football?
We need to call Russ.
Then we will adapt. That's what we do.
So you have to do.
Ever evolving.
That's right.
Adapt to survive. Kill or be killed.
Adapt or die.
Boom.
Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Hurrah.
Let's go to Anakin, Ohio. Speaking of adapt or die.
Yeah.
This guy's had to get through life with his fingers not operating like everybody else's.
Uh-huh.
Not being able to drive because he just falls asleep. Immediately upon his hands going on to a wheel, he just falls asleep.
Yep.
Crazy.
He's allergic to shrimp. Couldn't go to those hoity-toity events.
Couldn't do it.
He's got 2 left feet.
Yep.
Drives with both of them. But somehow, some way, this walking miracle was a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion,
Yeah.
the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, and an Ohio State Hall of Famer.
Damn.
Miracle. Aaron James Hall. You're a walking miracle, AJ. You know that?
Yeah, I was allergic to shrimp, by the way.
I knew that was.
I know you beat it.
Not current day.
Just like you were allergic to driving. Remember, it just made you fall asleep. Then you had to fight through that as well.
Only certain times, small windows. I stay away.
Not much small window. It's every day. It's for like 2 hours. It's a pretty big window.
I can control it.
Important hours.
365 times 2. Is that 730?
Yep.
730 hours of the year. This man will fall asleep immediately upon being behind a wheel.
Yeah.
That's a lot of deaths. You hear me?
Yeah, isn't it pretty impressive that I'm still here?
Miracle.
How many people have you killed?
Thank you.
Well, driving or just...
Yeah, drive.
People that you hit
dirty looks.
don't have the head that you have.
Did you see Kirk Herbstreit last time? A man he tried to kill was a sophomore in high school. He had made his Amazon debut alongside Al Michaels. Did you watch the game? I thought Amazon did good. I thought the microphones looked a little Mickey Mouse, but I thought everything else looked very good. I think they got through the game. I'd assume the Amazon people very pumped with the, there's a couple tech things. It was easy to find on the Prime app. I think they were excited and pumped, and Herbstreit's in the men's league for the first time, full time ever. I'm excited about all of it.
Yeah, I am too. I think he looked comfortable, and I don't know if he gets nervous or anxious or whatever, but he had to feel a little different than he has for college games for all these years. So I think he and Al were great, and I think they're going to continue to be great. I would imagine the more you get to hang out with Al Michaels, like the easier, like it would be awesome. Like that guy has stories for days, and he's the coolest guy ever. It seems like
they have good chemistry. I talked about this in the first hour. 28-3 was mentioned, and Kirk asked Al, "Did you call that game?" And Al said no. And then Herbstreit responded immediately like, "Well, we all watched it," and just it was like two guys literally just having a conversation. They sounded like humans. They also sounded like guys that are working together for the first time, asking each other questions, as opposed to just being like, "Hey, this is how a team's supposed to be." Like addressing it. I think they were just humans in there, which is what Al and Kirk are, which is all we really ask for. Hey, why don't you guys just go be the best booth in the fucking NFL?
What do you say?
Make it happen.
Let's go do it.
why not us?
Why not them? Well, we don't have a booth in the NFL, but why not them?
I'm saying those two could take that moniker, but they should think, no, we already are. What do you mean?
It is us.
It might be.
Yeah.
I really
might be.
enjoyed last night. I enjoyed them on the call together last
Felt
night.
like a big game, too. I feel like the production, it feels like it's going to be, the games will feel big.
We talked about this in the first hour. Amazon is getting a good lineup here for this Thursday Night Football. Normally, Thursday Night Football, shit games, bad games, always bad games because they can't be flexed and they set it up beforehand. And it was part of a bigger bundle package with another network in the past. Now that Amazon has a big bank, I
mean, is it the biggest?
Close.
I don't know. Every day, right? There's still
Yeah.
fucking.
But it is.
Oil,
I
guess.
thought.
Name your company, first letter in A, and you make a lot of money.
Yeah, I thought Apple, Amazon, and Google are the $1 trillion
Apple,
companies.
Amazon, Acrisure.
I thought it was Fangs. I thought it was extra, definitely Fangs. I thought it was Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google.
I don't think Facebook anymore. I think they're done.
You think?
Well, they're Meta.
They got the new Oculus coming out.
Zuck's on Rogan, I guess. That's going to go well. He was trending last night at 4 or something like that.
Still trending today, too.
Still trending. I'm sure he said a lot
Mangs
of.
now.
Really?
Is it Mangs? Because Meta instead of Okay. Anyways, they're all going to get into the game with the NFL at some point. Amazon's kind of leading the way here. Amazon's been in bed with the NFL for a few years. It's kind of been a crawl before you walk type situation. And the NFL is going to give them good games. And it seems like their first game is Herbert, Patrick Mahomes. It's only going to get better from there. Good for them. They got a late Bills and Patriots game, I think. I mean, there is a hell of
It's a big deal. It's
Yes.
a big deal that this is the first time it's ever strictly on streaming, correct?
Yes. This is the first.
So for all
yes.
the geriatrics out there that still, what's an application? I don't know. Like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, but if they're still doing that, a lot of their life is fucked.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what the NFL said. You know,
Maybe, hopefully they have someone in their life that could, write it down like a little instructional pamphlet. Here, this is how you turn the Thursday night game on.
I've seen some olds that are very good.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very good. They're good at texting, calling, and like Twitter or Instagram, whatever.
Well,
like
that's
grandkids.
important. My wife's grandma, she's very colorful, fun lady. So we give her like our old iPhones. We always have, and she loves having an iPhone. And I don't know how exactly old she is, but
700 million.
Take this shitty iPhone. Though.
Hey, here's a hand-me-down, Graham.
Sorry, I dropped it.
Here's a hand-me-down, Graham. Sorry, the amount of
Hope
poop
the
that has
crack
gotten
doesn't
on
slice
there.
your
They
finger.
I care about the
color?
earth. I don't want to put it in the trash and kill more people. Come on now.
No one told you to put it in the
What?
trash.
Yeah,
dude.
it said give it to grandma.
Yeah, that's
proper
right.
ways
I
to
can't.
dispose
I'm not going
of
to
it.
smash it like Con Man and Hillary either.
I don't.
Oh,
Don't you fucking put me in the same sentence as her, AJ.
What are you talking about? That's a sitting.
Son of a bitch.
Did you hear that laugh? It was a
I'm not even
like-
going to finish what I was saying.
That's
That's one of
despicable.
those ones that really get you. You have outed yourself as a man that gives your mother's grandma, just piece of shit recycled phones. So, I mean, that's going to be something that's going to be tough to forget.
Yeah.
You
That's going to be something
fucker.
that's going to be tough to forget. Let's move on. Joining us now is a man who has seen
Didn't
top.
get to make my point. That's the problem.
Go on.
I'll get to it later.
No, what's your point?
No, I want the general because she is good with phones and iPhones and technology. It keeps you up to date with your kids and grandkids. So I'm saying technology will keep you current. So it helps.
2022 feels like the right time to go to a streaming service if you're the NFL. It's only going to get more and more, and people are going to be spending more money than they spend on all these cables for all these streaming things, but it's going to be considered much better somehow, and we're all going to be pissed about it 15, 20 years from now.
bingo.
This is just the world. This is the way it's going. What's going on, Connor?
Well, and the olds that, stumble in and out of whatever bar they go to in their town are going to have the games now, too, because of the DirecTV deal Amazon signed. So they're still going to be in those locations, too. It's not just like, hey, you need Amazon, you need to find the app and go through that whole situation.
I'm not saying it.
I think you should.
I didn't think it was as easy to find the kickoff show when I went in there.
Oh, is it different than the?
It should be on the home page.
Yeah, but it just had the game. I think it just said the game, and it was Kirk and Al were sitting there, and it might have been because of how late I got into it. I got in like 2 minutes before the game started, so I saw the tail end of the kickoff show, but I had to click on just the game as opposed to the kickoff show also being there when it was on the kickoff show, and then the game being the game.
I think they ultimately know that no one cares about the kickoff show. You know, I mean, we're there to watch the football game.
What is your problem?
I'm just saying.
Seems like they spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah,
Ultimately,
for sure,
I think you're right.
But, you know, it's like, oh, you're not going to watch the kickoff show? Boo-hoo. Who cares? You're going to watch the game. That's for sure.
You are, especially when it's Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Good for Thursday Night Football. Happy for Al and Kirk. Let's go.
Here you go, boys. Keep it going.
Joining us now is a man who saved football at one point during this COVID era.
Hey,
Fuck yeah.
Big Ten, who I listened to an interview with Greg Warren. Kevin Warren?
Kevin Warren.
Kevin Warren, Big Ten commissioner.
Greg
I
Warren
listened
was
to
a long snapper.
He was a great long snapper for the Steelers for a long time.
They're thinking Greg Norman. Very similar.
He started live.
Greg Sankey.
Greg Sankey's the
There's
SEC
SEC
commissioner.
yes.
Kevin Warren
Did it
is
all.
Big Ten commissioner. He was early in his title as Big Ten commissioner, and he decided that the Big Ten was not going to play football because of COVID.
Yeah.
He decided that because of, the medical experts he had, and also they were a joint conference with Pac-12.
Yeah.
So the Pac-12 was going to do it. They were going to do it. That's two of the Power Fives making the decision. New in your reign as commissioner, you can get off on the right foot, like, hey, I'm making a good decision, and also grandstanding on everybody else. Of
course.
What hurt him was obviously the SEC saying, oh, that's cute. Big Ten ain't real. We are playing football. And then the ACC say, what are they doing in Big Ten? What a sad. We're playing football down here. And then obviously this man that's about to join us hit the pavement, went to the commissioner's office, talked to him, and got football back in Big Ten land.
Yeah.
Now, I will say I was very impressed with Kevin Warren when I listened to him do an interview the other day. The only thoughts I had on before this interview was, oh, that's the guy that canceled football and thought he was saving the world. I saw him do an interview the other day. Nice. Fucking very impressive human
At
being.
the Hall of Fame, probably.
Yes, very impressive human being. You agree?
Yeah, who was he there with?
He was talking to somebody. It was an interview. It might have been 60 Minutes or
When
something.
somebody was getting enshrined, though, he was there supporting them. Maybe Dick Vermeil.
It may be. But listening to him speak in this interview, I was like, okay, this guy isn't just a fucking
doofus.
Corporate shrew. It was very good. He's talking about paying the players a salary in the Big Ten and like
He
everything.
should probably talk more.
Yes, that's what I think too. That is exactly what I think. And also another man that should talk more, the man that went to commissioner's office and said, we ain't doing this. We're playing football in Ohio.
Yeah.
We're already going through enough, aren't we? Hey, Coach, aren't we already going through enough?
Come on.
We need football. And he pounded the pavement. He rallied the troops. He's seen Top Gun Maverick 8 times already. Ladies and gentlemen, the host in Columbus, Ohio of the show titled
What?
With General Bob Carpenter.
Oh, you're asking me to intro his show. Got it. There you go, Bob.
Hey, there you go, Bob. Hey, Bob, what's the name of your show? AJ doesn't know the name. He was on it this morning. That's embarrassing. What is the problem over there, General?
Yeah, Morning Juice. Every Friday, AJ comes on. We get to dive into some wonderful topics, whether it's South Carolina changing their mascot name or whatever it might be. And here's why Kevin Warren now had his cooler, because you saw him pre-COVID when he was taking some bad information from people and making some decisions. I don't think he was real sure. Then he made that partnership with the Pac-12. And then all of a sudden, it'd be like me sliding over to AJ's house and like stealing a couple of his kids, his favorite kids, and then just like absorbing them into my family after he stole USC and UCLA from the Pac-12. So I think that's what that big energy that you're feeling right there from him is after he went and cuckolded the dude who he said, we're a team, now we're on my own, don't worry about it.
Okay, stealing kids is not what cucking is, Bob. You know that, right?
Cuckling? Well, I mean, I couldn't try to slide in and steal the wonderful Miss Laura, but I would never do that.
Good family. Yeah, well, so as you were getting into your cucking story in your head, you had to, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to go fuck AJ's wife in front of me. So you said steal his kids. That's what you were doing. That's what you were doing in your head there while you were giving that answer? Okay, I got it. Still got back to the point, though, of cuckling at the end there. I appreciate it. Kevin Warren was also talking about, potential salaries for Big Ten kids to all get and everything. Like, he should talk more, I think. And is the Big Ten, you think it's just going to be Big Ten SEC at some point, General Bob? You're more boots on the ground there in Columbus, which is obviously a college football town.
Well, I think the ACC is always going to have a place. They've got 14 or 16 teams, 15 teams right now. So there's a spot for them. I don't know if it's going to be, to the level and degree of what the SEC and Big Ten are. Because you look at these two media deals, and let's face it, guys, money makes the world go round. And so if you're competing against a school that is getting $100 million every year, and you're a school that's getting 25 to 30 million, it's really, really hard to be able to make that up, out-recruit, go bring in donations and do all those things when you're in a difficult spot like that. So I don't know if the SEC adds teams here shortly. It wouldn't surprise me if in the next, 4 years when they do the new TV rights deal for the college football playoff, if by that point the Big Ten then is ultimately probably to, let's say 20, 22 teams, because that's what Kevin Warren was talking about.
Bob, have you been watching your guy Dan Campbell on Hard Knocks this year? I hope you have. The guy's putting on a great show. And what do you think? What do you think it's going to look like for the Lions? I know you had some time there where Kid Rock was pumping you guys up before games and all kinds of stuff going on. So what do you think of Dan Campbell and his whole performance on Hard Knocks?
I'm staying with the band, man.
I'm staying with I'm staying with the band, man. Fifth in one hand, chew in the mouth, heater in the other.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's him.
Hey, he's a big fucker, Bob. He's big guy, dude. We saw him at practice last week.
Yeah. Huge.
Have you been watching him? Is that him all the time?
Yeah, that's kind of who he's always been. He's always been that oversized dude. He's still obviously pumping weights. I'm glad that last night I actually watched the first episode 2 days ago, and then I watched the last 2 episodes last night for 2 and 3. So I got to see the stuff at Colts camp and everything else. Like I said, he's a combination of the dude and John Rambo. He's everything you want him to be, all wrapped up together. I think they're going to be good, man. I say good relative. They're going to be better than what they've been. Watching that thing, he has a bunch of former players. Those guys care a lot. The players respond to him. And I'm watching Hard Knocks. I'm sitting there telling my wife laying in bed, I'm like, I kind of want to go coach NFL football now. I never have wanted to do that before. But if I get to coach with Dan Campbell and that's my boss, like that dude, I'll go to war with him all day. And that's why you see Deuce Staley and AG and all those guys. Those are guys that AJ, we all played against. Heck, I played with Aaron, just missed Dan. But they've got something going on. They've got a belief. And when Dan Campbell is your coach out there and he's giving you those speeches and getting everybody juiced up, and he's giving it to you real, man. That's the thing. A lot of the stuff he's saying, it reminds me so much of Bill Parcells. And
yeah.
A lot of guys didn't like playing for Bill, but Bill was going to be honest with you. You may not have wanted to hear what he was going to say, but if he was going to cut you, he was going to tell you that week, if you don't get your ass better, you're on your way out of here. And people are like, that's terrible. Wouldn't you want to know? Because so many times in that league, you guys know it. Hey, put your arm around you. You're doing a great job. Next thing you know, hey, you're out of here. You lose your job. Dan, he's going to be honest with you guys, so at least you can respect that. The dude gets it. He's going to be honest about it. I love it. They should do the Lions for Hard Knocks every year because the players are all right. Mm-hmm. But the coaches are the characters in this one, man, and they are far superior to anything else I've seen thrown out there.
I concur. I love watching the team. I think Dan Campbell, I don't know if he would want me on a team that he was coaching, but I wouldn't mind being on a team that he was coaching. I think there's 2 different perspectives of that whole thing. Because once he starts diving into it all, I can't help but be like, at least he's keeping it light and upbeat and fascinating, intriguing, so guys pay attention as opposed to dozing off. And him doing those 40 up downs, General, 40 up downs, broken wrist. They're doing 40 up downs before a practice starts. When was the last time you seen that, General? High school. That's a high school thing, isn't it?
I would say the last time we actually did up downs, AJ, we had Mark D'Antonio as our defensive coordinator.
40?
I think we actually, not 40. We may have done 25 one practice that was bad our freshman or sophomore year. But yeah, dude, you've never seen guys doing up downs in the NFL. And here's the best part. Dan comes off as such a tough dude, and you've heard the quote even about, people want to say I'm a meathead and they underestimate me. That's fine, dude. That's only going to lead to wins, and we're going to be in a good spot. But also, you had that comedian come in, and he's busting Dan's balls about not doing his up downs good times, looking like downward dog. And Dan's just sitting there laughing. And so that's a coach that he's comfortable with who he is. Most guys, AJ played for a guy, if you ever question him, oh, Bristle, don't make fun of me. I'm the best.
Who's that?
Most coaches are like that.
Big Mike.
Was that Big Mike?
We don't have to get into it. We can dive into that here in a minute. But
those
guys don't feel
Coach.
good when you question him. That's the reality. And Dan, you're sitting there making fun of him, calling him meathead and his up-down suck, and he's just going to laugh about it because he's been part of the crew, he's played, and he understands how it works.
Yeah, and by the way, that comedian crushed.
Yeah.
That's not an easy room to go into, Bob.
What's his name?
Josh Adams.
There we go.
He killed. Because I saw him walking in. They asked me to do that. That was potentially going to be me in that episode doing that. And I was like, I got to do SmackDown. I am so sorry. I won't be able to make it. It was on Friday after practice or whatever. So whenever I saw that thing start, I saw this random guy, Josh Adams, walk in. I'm like, oh no, here we go. Because he said, hey, my name's Josh Adams at the beginning. I'm like, oh no, this guy's got no idea the room he is talking to. He fucking killed it. I was so happy for him. I was watching, laughing. But you're right, he wasn't the only one. Aiden Hutchinson also laughing. It felt like it's a good room. How many wins? We don't know, but I do love watching every single Tuesday night. The boys have some questions for you. Is that all right, Bob?
Let's do it.
All right, Tone, you up.
Yeah, Bob, General, Nebraska and Northwestern open up college football season in Ireland this weekend. Were you asked to potentially, run out of the tunnel with one of the teams with the American flag or the Big Ten flag to represent all of college football? And the spread's 11.5 there. You think Nebraska's going to cover that one?
Okay, I wasn't asked, but I would love to do it. One of my favorite things is to spread American patriotism throughout the world, and now we're going to give them a little slice of what makes America so great is college football. So hopefully they can experience that and love it the way that America does. So I would have willingly, easily went over there and taken care of that. As far as that 11.5 points, I think Nebraska wins. I hope for Scott Frost's sake that they actually win, because if not, he might get fired and have to find his own ride home. So that might be a little rough. But also, with that, I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I would take those points. If Nebraska wins by 10, I think they should be happy. Northwestern's not great, but until Nebraska proves to me that they can close out a game and not find a way to lose it at the end, I'm not going to feel great about that.
Were you disgusted with how Tone looked in that helmet? Is that why he didn't say anything?
Well, I mean, it looks a little small on him. You've got the beard to help bring the face out a little bit, but that thing looks like it might fit my younger son.
Yeah, it's very, very tight. It would look a lot sweeter if I had the fucking button. If I had to button the fucking for the oxygen.
You were given a great answer earlier about something, I forget, Dan Campbell, I think, and he was trying to sneak his head into that fucking helmet over there, and I'll tell you, it was quite a scene. I mean, it was a full-on one of those, situations. How many times have you seen Top Gun Maverick up to this point, and how many times you watched it since you've been able to see it at home?
So you're going to be disappointed. I've seen it 6. I have not watched it yet on Apple Plus.
Oh, this guy's a fraud. This guy's a fraud. Oh, you're a fraud. Oh, that's crazy.
Time out. I put my foot down on this because the streaming services, like you've talked about, have gotten out of control. And I started realizing we're paying for stuff we're not even watching. We have 7 streaming services. I got hoodwinked when I bought Paramount Plus, thinking that that's where I was going to be able to see Yellowstone. Find out it's on Peacock, paying for all this stuff. I'm like, I don't even why I watch 5 hours of TV a week that's non-football. So why am I paying for Netflix and Amazon Prime? Apple Plus is the last thing that I don't have.
So you're taking a stand.
I'm going to have to get it now. Well, I'm trying, but they've got the NFL, so I'm going to have to get an NFL package.
Fair.
But that's it. That's the last one I'm doing. I'm done with this stuff. We're starting to spin them off. They've overtaken our lives. You said it earlier. It was supposed to be cheaper. It was supposed to be easier. All it's done now, I have more passwords. I can't remember crap. Somehow my kids have the authorization to watch adult stuff. My account was locked. I couldn't even pull up thinking the Manti Te'o documentary. I couldn't find it on there, so I'm stumbling around late night trying to watch that at 11 o'clock after I've been drinking, so I had to stagger into some other movie and watch Tombstone or something.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it was great. It was a great deal. But we've got so much crap in here, man. So I haven't seen it yet. I thought it was going to come to Paramount Plus, because why wouldn't it? Paramount's the stinking producer of the movie, so I thought they would be involved. So it's on Apple Plus. I'm going to have to break down and get it. Maverick's just going to be the cherry on the sundae because I have to get it for the NFL. So it'll all be good. And don't worry, I will make sure I watch it at least 2 or 3 more times over the next week.
We're a little bit worried you were a fraud there for a second. Did
seriously.
you hear it? There's a lot of Bob, whenever you said you only seen it one time since it's come out. I like the fact you're taking a stand. One of my friend's dad, CFO Phil's dad, actually, to be exact, I don't think he'd care that I said this. He works overseas a lot on nuclear
Power plants.
Power plants, yeah. I was going to say warehouses, but that is what they are.
Same thing.
But they are power plants is what they are. He works on them all over the world, like for long periods of time, out in the middle of fucking nowhere in these countries. He's working on them. Then he comes home. So obviously he hasn't gone shopping a lot throughout his life for a lot of things. When he comes back, it's all there. He learned what a razor was costing just a few years back, how much a razor was, and he said, I'm not shaving ever again. So he stopped shaving for like 2 years out of protest of the prices of razors. He inevitably had to shave at some point. But so I like these, one person protests just to take a stand to let people know that you are not being bamboozled by these motherfuckers. But inevitably, they're going to get you. Just like the razor. He had to shave at some point, and they were waiting there at the same price. They did not drop their price. They were waiting on Papa Maine's, just sitting there on them, and he had to go back. Had to do it. Didn't love it. Still mad about it. But you're going to have to go in. They know it inevitably, and they got us by the balls, Bob. They got us by the balls.
It's terrible. We allowed it to happen, and that's why I respect you guys are busting AJ's balls for giving Grandma Peg, hand-me-down iPhones. Like, listen, I don't need a new iPhone with a better camera shoved down my throat every 6 months either. Like, I'm happy with the things that I have. You guys just want to upgrade everything. All you need, you don't necessarily, need all those things. My father-in-law, he put his foot down. He told me, he's 73 years old. He goes, don't buy me any more clothes. He goes, I'm 73. I'm pretty sure I have enough clothes to last me the rest of my life. And I told him, I can't wait till I get to that point, probably at 55 or 60, where I'm like, you know what? I don't need to upgrade any fashion. I've got what I need. If I get fat, you know what? It'll encourage me to get skinny again. If I get too skinny, I'll have to lift weights to get bigger. Right. But I'll have plenty of clothes to be able to wear all that stuff out until you can put me in my casket. And you can slide me in there naked, Pat. I don't even need anything on.
In your casket?
Yeah.
Closed casket.
What about
It could be weird open casket viewing.
No, it's open. Well, I told you, AJ, you knew this. I was going to go shirtless open casket. That was the plan.
Beast.
You work out every morning still?
Still getting after it a little bit, Pat. Trying to for you, man.
You work out with the boys over at Ohio State yet, or no?
I'm going to head over there after this. I had to do a little XM afterwards, so I'm going to head over there now and finish up that workout.
Okay.
How they looking?
Individual toe shoes.
They look good, man. Like those guys, they're as good as they've ever been. And defensively, they've looked really good. You know what, man? There's nothing more humbling than when you've been working out with guys that are like 18 to 22, and I go in there, it's like loosen up my knee, loosen up my back. These dudes just cruise on in, they're ready to go, and just start cranking big weights. And you feel like an old man, and that's the reality of life, and it sucks.
Oh, General, you're the only guy that is working out with 18, 19, 20-year-olds in the fashion that you are right now. In the whole world. So keep fucking going, pal.
Yeah.
You need to keep it going. In the whole world, you're the only person I've ever heard about. I feel like I have a lot of friends around the NFL, a lot of friends that have played college football, retired now. You are the only human that I've ever heard does this. That's why I was so alarmed by it. And the fact you still run with them and make times or no?
I haven't run with them yet this summer. My thing is I turn 40 next year, and my goal is I want to go out. I want to run a 40 under 4.75, and I want to do a full conditioning test with those guys. That's it at 40. I may hang it up at that point, but that is the goal at this point in time.
Well, remember, you didn't work out with them last year, and they lost to Michigan.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
I think they're happy you're back in the building.
Hopefully that's the case. I mean, I'm just happy to be back. I mean, I get enough of my football fill doing demonstrating tackling with your boy AJ over there for the 3rd and 4th year olds. Fourth graders. Tackle him, man. He's always wearing this nice Michael Jordan cologne that I found out this morning that he somehow found in the corners of the internet. Because I go in to tackle him, dude. We got Little League football, and he always smells so good. He used to wear the Abercrombie Fierce that Chopper used to buy him, but I guess he's kind of went back to the Michael Jordan from the mid '90s.
Are we talking about AJ right now?
Yeah, that guy.
You're wearing cologne to practice, 3rd and 4th grade practice, football practice?
I get done with this. I smoke cigars all here, so I have to take a quick shower. I sprint down to practice. Yeah, if I take a shower, I'm putting cologne on, no question.
I didn't know you were a cologne.
Wow.
Bob, you a cologne guy?
Me? No, I've got a bottle of cologne that's about half full that my wife bought me when I was in college. That's how much I wear cologne.
Me
he
too.
Smells good enough for the both of us.
I've never got into it. I grew up in a town with a lot of
yeah, a lot of clog.
A lot of folks like you.
Yeah, you're right.
Like me.
No,
Aqua de Joe.
Yeah.
there's a lot of cologne around me at all times. Also, the Axe development. What was that?
Oh, yeah.
Body
spray.
Man, that shit was smelled so bad.
Chocolate.
I thought I have such a big nose. I think it's just like I smell too much of it. I'm always like, how are you guys walking around with this shit on you all day? Ladies love it. I'm like, all right. Well, if you look like shit, you smell good. I don't know if that's going to work either. So, Connor, what do you have, pal?
Yeah, Bob, what are you getting into this weekend? Are you just watching football, watching Top Gun? And then also, have you seen the terminal list? Because you strike me as a guy who would love to be downrange.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Are you a slave to Apple Plus and Prime this weekend? Is that what you're going to do, Bob?
It's basically what you're asking. I've got one of my son's got a football game tomorrow morning, so I got that. I'm going to try to coach some stuff up with AJ. We've got an event on Saturday night. We've got these charity events. I have not seen Terminal List. That is on my watch list to ultimately get done. I think that's on Amazon. So I'm going to try to get that. I love Chris Pratt, one of my favorites. I've heard the show is absolutely fantastic. So that's the next thing. Like I said, I just finished up Yellowstone, this week, so I'm fully caught up with that. And I try to enjoy it, man, because I'll watch a little bit of that Nebraska Northwestern, maybe the whole thing if it's good. But as of next week, the weekends just fly by. You're just ripping paper off during football season. Dude, we're already within 4 months of Christmas, so the year's basically done.
Don't be so negative.
Good point.
Louise, dude. Good point. Football season is just 5,000 miles an hour, though, isn't it? I mean, it is. There's no day off. It's just basically the same day every day. Football. SmackDown. Football. That's what life is. I can't wait for it, Bob. This offseason, I'm ready for this shit to be behind us, aren't you?
No, listen. Now, don't wish it away, Pat.
No, get the fuck out of here.
You just said the year's over.
The off-season will wish it away.
Don't fast forward the summer either. You need to enjoy the summer for what it is, and then you enjoy football season for what it is. Football season. I mean, Coach, football season.
They tied it all together.
Here's the thing. It's like a 2-story beer bong that's got about 2 beers and 5 shots in it. So you hammer that thing down, and then you just stagger around the rest of the year. I mean, you're drunk as a skunk, you're feeling great, but I mean, you're not functionally able to do anything. You can't take vacations. You can't do any of that. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly where you're at. AJ knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think he saw you do it. I believe that was a story potentially from yourself, and I want to let you know, very impressive if you're doing 2 beers, 5 shots in a 2-story beer bong. I've done a 6-beer, 2-story beer bong before. That was, yeah.
6 beers. Dude, your stomach would explode. I would love to watch that.
No, it did, yeah. It got down.
No, it did.
First person to ever complete that, I was told at the house that I walked up to and said, what do you got here? He said, we normally put 6 beers.
All right.
What do you got here? And literally outside. The party was happening in the front yard.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the problem. When you get the 2-story beer bong, you really have to trust the folks that are at the top of that thing. Because you have no control and no idea of what fluids and how much of them are going in there.
Yeah, let's assume somebody fucking spit in that thing.
Yeah,
you hope they spit.
That's the least of it.
Exactly.
It did have a little piss taste there at the end, I guess. But yeah, 6 beers down.
Frothy.
Place went crazy. Obviously, it was quite a moment because whenever that 2-story beer hits you too, that shit's like a fire hose.
Fast.
So there's a little bit of a spray at the beginning. So if you can corral the spray, there's a big pop out of the people. That's like halfway through that go. Then you finish it and you leave it open and there's little drops. Everybody goes crazy. Yeah, hold it down. All right. See you guys. I'm gonna keep it moving. And then I projectile vomited on the side of the house, and I had to get out of there. But nobody saw me puke. I learned that just like a year ago or 2 years ago. The Athletic did an article about stories about me before anybody else knew about me. The Athletic did this article. And one of the people they talked to was Ryan Dorchester, who was the equipment manager for West Virginia at the time. It was his house. And he was having the party, and I was either freshman or sophomore. I forget. I was going over to the party. He told this story to the Athletic or whatever. And in there, he said he's the first and only human we've ever seen handle it or whatever. I had to call him afterwards and be like, hey, I don't need you to continue to tell this story because I projectile vomited all of that directly across the street immediately afterwards. So it's quite a scene, but you're right. That is what football is. Drinking from a fire hose. We got Thursday Night Football is going to be awesome. You see that Ohio fuck Herb Street last night calling NFL games? I'm happy for him, Bob.
I mean, I love your terms of endearment. Those are absolutely amazing. I mean, he's a Centerville Elk. He's an AJ alum. AJ played on Kirk Herbstreit Field growing up in high school, man.
Oh, AJ also knocked Kirk Herbstreit out of contact football. Whenever there was an alumni game, he won helmet to his jaw, and Herbstreit, as a 30-year-old, took the helmet off for the last time.
Yep.
I can't believe I've never heard that story, AJ.
Herbstreit told the story on here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he came on. He was like, "Hey, did your guy here ever tell you about the alumni game in Centerville?" And we're like, "Alumni game? Excited to hear this." Because you work out with the Ohio State team. You're 39 years old. There's an alumni game in Centerville, Ohio, which is like one of the most Ohio places of all time, where guys that graduated high school already put on full fucking pads and play against the high school team. I had no idea this happened. Ohio's the best.
Not anymore. They don't do it anymore.
Because you ended it. Killed the guy. So he speared with his Rydell, obviously. Kirk Herbstreit, jaw here, sideways as he was coming through.
Kirk's running a triple option. He's my responsibility. And first off, I think he stayed in the game, actually. I don't know if he left.
No, he took his helmet off, took his pads off, and they stopped the game.
He's pissed.
Never put him on again.
Maybe later that night, he decided to hang him up.
No, it's like a joint practice. Let's talk about this, General Bob. Joint practice is always a fight. Every single time. I don't know how often it happened when you were playing. I think we were a part of it one time when I was in the league. Now it's just like a very common occurrence. You're hearing a lot of players come out and be like, this is just a setup for a fight. That's all this is. Kyle Long tweeted, joint practices should be outlawed. Other guys are like, it is not. Cam Hayward put out a tweet that was like, it's just a 2-hour, you're ready for a fight, basically, to take place. Players hate it. Coaches and evaluators love it. This Aaron Donald shit is obviously making massive waves because they want him suspended actual games for a preseason practice action, even though there's been 20 fights in the last 10 days. Are we going to judge them the same as what has happened before? What are your thoughts on joint practices, and do you ever see one just going like kumbaya? I do not, as somebody that's watched a lot of practices from the front row.
So first of all, we covered a lot of ground right there. Before we move on, AJ, Centerville is the only place where they're actually running a triple option in an alumni game. This isn't like 7-on-7 running the spread. I mean, it's like West Canaan. AJ, I saw him and his dad. He put that beer on top, and he'd have AJ just fire that pigskin off and knock the beer right off his head like Varsity Blues.
Absolutely.
West Canaan and Centerville might be the same place. As with the joint practices, like you were saying, Pat, I mean, those things are a mess. We had a joint practice when I was in Dallas, my second or third year with the Denver Broncos. And we got Wade Phillips there. So, we're with Denver's offense, Dallas defense with Broncos offense over there, or Broncos defense, and they're moving back and forth. And so you hear commotion on the other field. So we look over, and I'd watched Flozo Adams, and I told this story because no one could believe the Myles Garrett situation last year or 2 years ago. I watched Flozo Adams tear off Jarvis Moss's helmet and literally pull off and then just straight up reverse, boom, smoke him on the top of the head with it. I mean, massive fight ensues. Last play of the practice, split up. We're going with our own team. Broncos are going with their team. That stuff happens every year because, like you said, guys are fighting for their jobs. They're fighting for their lives. And don't think for a second the guard that's blocking Aaron Donald doesn't think, hey, this is a chance for me to make the team. If I can block this dude and I can wear him out a little bit, he's the best defensive lineman possibly ever. It's going to help my case to make the team. And that's why the coaches like it, man. I mean, they can control it. This isn't like a game where people are subbing in and out. This is good on good situation over and over again. And you're doing it for multiple days. That's the other thing. Like, you don't play the same team the next day in a row, so you can harbor all those feelings and think about how the dude beat you in one-on-ones or this guy shoved you later.
Film,
later.
Bob, saying film too with the highlight, the laser pointer. Oh, look what Aaron Donald did to you today. Like hey, you want to make the team? Want to be a starter? Can't put this on film. And then the next day, it's immediately, Bob, immediately.
Oh. It's terrible. And that's the thing, the coaches don't fight. And Dan said it. We don't want you to fight. We'll kick you out. And Parcells would say, if you broke your hand, I'm giving you a non-football injury because you're punching a helmet. You're getting kicked out. You're getting fined $15,000. But the same coach that tells you not to fight, will also sit there and run back the last half second of a play when the whistle's blown and the dude's pushing you. And it's you're going to let him treat you like that? You're just going to back down? And then it's what do you want me to do? You want to push the guy late and then start a full-on melee afterwards? The coaches love it. The players, it's the worst 2 days you're ever going to have. But they love the evaluation. It's probably safer than preseason. But the fact that you would talk about suspending here, you have people now, and this is what I call the outrage crowd. Someone's like, what does that mean on Twitter? I go, you know why? You guys are outraged. I go, it's people that are outraged about something that doesn't impact you when the people that are playing don't care about it. Players are coming out saying we should eliminate, the joint practices, but I didn't hear one player saying, who's currently in the NFL, Aaron Donald's a terrible dude. He should be kicked out of the league. He should be suspended. That's everybody else who doesn't play football anymore. So why is it their job to tell the guys that are playing what is safe and acceptable? Here's the news flash. You guys know this. The NFL is not a normal workplace environment. There is no normal workplace conduct. The things that coaches tell you, there is no HR department in the NFL. You can't go and cry and say the coach called me X, Y, and Z and embarrassed me in front of the team. They made me weigh in front of other guys and told me I was a fat ass and I was overweight and I needed to quit eating so much at night. Like, you can't say that in the real world. That's everything that happens. And you know why it happens? Because you got to be tough to play it, and you got to be a dude, and that's the last bastion of dudeness we have in the United States.
Oh, geez. I mean, then you just – so you took that all the way. The last bastion of dudes in the United States is the NFL?
Well, outside of the military. College football and the NFL, outside of the military, that's where we're at. I mean, that doesn't even count. Those people they're real folks. Like, I'm talking about – like UFC, combative sports is really all we got left, where you can't be offended by someone saying something and calling you a name and like, I don't feel good about that anymore.
Hey, General, you know what another thing that I thought of immediately upon everybody saying he should be suspended for what he did in that practice? I'm like, okay, well, going forward, I'd like every player to negotiate their contracts off of shit they did in practice. You know what I mean? Like, if it's only going to be the bad stuff, like, all right, well, let's also make it the good stuff, too. Yeah. Like, I kicked a 75-yard field goal yesterday. Hey, Chuck, I'm going to need some fucking kicker pay, pal. Like, I just don't – the precedent of what you start practice, like, that is kind of self-maintained, whatever the case. Hey, everybody's smarter than everybody, Bob. That's kind of the way it goes. Go ahead, Ty Schmidt.
General, you mentioned Centerville, and you also mentioned, MCDC's kind of wanting you to coach again. And I know you're coaching your son with AJ. Isn't your dad, like, one of the biggest legends in, like, high school football coaching in Ohio? Are we talking the next couple years here? You're going to maybe take that mantle and, I don't know, turn into like Gary Gaines or something in Ohio?
So he
rest in peace.
He did just retire last year. My dad did. So he had been at our alma mater for the last 23 years.
Congrats!
That's one of the things.
Congrats, Coach.
Way to go, Admiral Carpenter.
He comes back and watches our kids and does all that. Now he's full-time grandfather. But he literally, one of the speeches he would give as he's telling guys going into your camp your senior year, it was like directed to seniors. Like, listen, you guys have 2 weeks of 2-a-days, 3 weeks of 2-a-days, couple scrimmages, 10 games, assuming you stay healthy. The things you can do on a football field will get you thrown in prison after this point in your life. You can no longer do those things. It's called assault then at that point, gentlemen. So make sure that you appreciate what you're doing. We're going to make you tough. We're going to make you hard. You can go do all these things. But, yeah, I mean, that was kind of the methodology that we preached because we were very similar to Centerville. We lined up. We ran the wing tee. We were just going to try to pound you there for 60 minutes.
Bob, what's it like seeing all this? I love when the clips pop up.
Make you hard.
Your dad, he played.
We're going to pound you for 60 minutes, dude. Go ahead, AJ. Sorry about it.
Gritty. Well, your dad also, his dad coached a North-South All-Star game I played in with Bob, who I roomed with Bob as well going into our freshman year in college. And his dad, very quiet, reserved dude, but gave a legit, like, pregame speech where he got so jacked. Like, he's awesome coach. But, Bob, what's it like when you see a little clips of him popping up? But your dad played tailback in the NFL, was scoring touchdowns for a long time.
Patriots.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Thanks to social media now, they all tag me on this stuff. Big Blue VCR for the Giants, some of the old Houston Oilers fans.
Shout out.
And it's cool, man, because my kids just know my dad is like grandpa. Like this, he's a 65, 67-year-old dude now. And they see him, he's got, a little limp, he needs his knee replaced, and he won't listen to me about it. So he's just trying to fight through life with it. But they get to watch that, and they watch grandpa run around and, rush for $161 against the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs, and like have the rushing record there, which I think he still has, for a playoff game, and get to see that cool stuff and listening to John Madden, the late great John Madden, and Pat Summerall, like comment about his toughness, his grittiness. Played in the playoff game, his ankle's all jacked up. He's like crawling back to the huddle. Like that's the stuff that I'm glad they get to see because that's something that I kind of would hear stories about, from Parcells and dudes that played with, through coaching that had played with him, and so. It's a pretty surreal feeling, and that's the stuff when I get around AJ's kids. I try to tell them that because I always say the coolest things I ever got to hear were from my dad's former teammates telling me how tough he was and how good he was. And so anytime I'm around my former teammates, I always make sure I tell their kids like, hey, how good your dad was and what he was all about.
That's awesome. That's very nice of you. You're a good man, General. You saved Big Ten football, and we'll never, ever forget it. Have a fantastic weekend, and make sure you pay Apple on time, bub.
Yeah.
Hey, the good news is, man, it's like anything else, Pat. All that stuff's set up automatically. I don't even know what I pay for anything anymore. All I know, my kids just purchased a million things, and I want to come back as one of them in my next life.
All right, well, I hope you get to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, General Bob Carpenter.
Yeah, Bob. General!
Everybody was saluting. That's why you couldn't hear the claps. I mean, it's a little bit different of a ovation for the General Bob Carpenter. AJ, what? You and him were roommates. Was your first thought, now that we know you? Oh, this guy's only here because his dad's a coach?
Yeah.
Is that what your first thought was?
No, because Bob was a well-known high school player too nationally. So yeah, I didn't. What's that?
You two got along or no?
Oh yeah, Bob was from the jump. We were very different, but I think we got along very well right from the beginning.
That's awesome.
I just wanted to say before we move on, if you can find someone who will take it, I don't think FanDuel does. Centerville's minus 12.5 tonight. Maybe something to think about.
Let's go.
How's the team look? How the Elks look this year?
Well, we won week 1 9-6.
Whoa.
Who are they playing?
Week 2, the opponent's much weaker.
Who are
they playing tonight, AJ?
I was asking Tone. I don't know.
Jeez.
Oh my God, this is disgusting. Let's get to a break.
What? Fucking guy.
You're like the center.
I do all my prep right after the show for the game. What do you mean? Because I have a chunk because you have to leave early, so I have a little extra time. That's when I get on my Centerville.
Oh, that's what I miss out in the last 30 minutes. I miss out on. Got it.
Probably heavy Centerville the last
Centerville
30
scouting
minutes.
report.
They're playing Dublin Kaufman. Come on.
Oh, that's a
Dublin's
rich
good.
boys, bunch of rich kids.
That's where I live pretty close to there. Yeah, they're in Centerville though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Under the lights.
There's no way you'll go back down to Centerville to watch that
No
game.
way.
Not a chance.
No, I could. I wish I could. If it was here, I would find a way.
It's not.
Well, yeah,
though.
because it's a little bit higher society there.
Yeah.
No.
Got a bunch of rich kids taking on Centerville Elks tonight.
Right.
No, Kaufman's good.
12.5.
Jeez.
Go give a pump up.
Who makes lines for high school though? Who knows how to make a line?
Real degenerates.
Yeah. Old guys.
How many Italians you guys got in? That's who. That's no offense. No offense should be taken.
None
That's
to
actually
us.
a compliment
Right.
to us.
Exactly.
Let's get to a break. You have not done 23andMe yet.
But I can already tell from, just taking a peek inside. I got some Italian.
People are saying that's Brady Quinn's high school.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God! It's the Hawk has battle.
Split jersey time.
Guys,
Split
wow.
jerseys.
Yes.
Split jerseys tonight.
You guys aren't going?
Are you serious? What are you guys doing instead? Fucking boozing?
Our other kids have plenty of sports that we're involved in.
Tonight?
You and Brady should fight at the
High
50-yard
school
line.
football Friday.
Oh, we should. Oh, he got to fly in town for it.
No coin toss. I'll pay for that. I will pay for the flight for Brady Quinn to get into town if instead of a coin toss, it's you two at the 50 fighting each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who says no?
Not me.
Not me.
No.
Not me.
Pitch
We got a
at
couple
the,
hours. We got a couple hours to make it work.
You can find a bird, I assume.
Yeah.
Get Brady in
For Brady freaking Quinn?
to fight AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
Make it happen.
You like the Rich Quins or the Hawks tonight?
You talking Centerville or Dublin?
Yeah.
Of course I'm riding with Centerville.
Hell yeah.
Ooh. That's right. Your neighbor's going to be mad at you right now. That's
right.
We're back in 4 minutes with some phone calls. This is the Pat McAfee Show on this Feel Good Friday, August 26th. AJ, you're a good man. Honestly, you've come a long way. You refuse to go back to where you came from, but you've come a long way. See you guys in 4 minutes. Cheers. You like Trey Lance, huh? You love the way he plays, love the way he operates. How about how he handled the whole situation last year? I mean, this is an awkward, isn't it kind of awkward situation going on over there, or not at all?
I mean, some would say it's definitely awkward. I mean, you trade 3 first-round picks for a quarterback. Like, there's writing on the wall. Like, it is what it is. It's the NFL. It's a profession. Everyone's trying to bring in younger, better, cheaper players. And then that's just the way the league is. And so there's an awkwardness to it, I guess. But at the end of the day, we're all here on the same team, and we're trying to win Super Bowl. So it's the lucky thing that we have here at the Niners is I feel like we have a fantastic culture of guys that just want to get better every day, and we love everybody in the locker room. So, Jimmy G could have, he could have been a dick and said, it's not my job, not my responsibility to take care of this guy and put him under my wing. But instead what he did is he was professional every single day. He didn't complain one time. He showed up, he worked, he started, he got us to an NFC championship game and helped Trey along the way. And so I thought Trey took a bunch of steps forward. And for Trey to become a really good quarterback in the NFL, he needs reps. And so once this kid gets a lot of reps, just watch out, because some of the things I've seen him do in practice kind of mind-boggling me, so I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, he's considered what? Great athlete, right? Because obviously Aaron waited behind Brett Favre for 3 years, right? And I wish, and I've said this publicly a lot, and I'm sure the Luck family doesn't like this, I wish Andrew Luck would have sat behind Peyton for 1 year. Like, I wish Andrew Luck would have sat behind Peyton for 1 year to see how he operates in the building, how you operate with equipment managers, training, like everything like that. Trey getting an opportunity to watch Jimmy G do this, who's from the Tom Brady mentor camp or whatever. Did he make leaps? Like, did you see leaps and bounds as him as a player, as a football, as an NFL guy? Or is it just like a consistent growth with him and he's kind of just chill?
Both. I think it's consistently gotten better, but like you could see, like Jimmy G is a professional through and through. Like Jimmy G takes notes every single meeting. He asks questions every meeting. Like he's in his books. And I think once Trey saw that, he was like, oh, I need to do all that and more. And it's also too, we have a great quarterback room. We got Nate Sudfeld in there, who's also he's got a nice little silly release. I like him a lot too. He's great for Trey too, because he's a people person. And he helps Trey with the offense, and he did a great job helping him all year too. So Trey has taken, in my opinion, big steps forward. Like if you compare him to last year's OTAs, I think he's 2 different players, and that's just exciting to see. Now, if Trey Lance was the starting quarterback, and if I say if, because I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, not your decision. Not your decision.
Yeah, thank God it's not my decision. It's all you, Kyle. You got this. I believe me. But all reps, and if there's growing pains, there's growing pains. I think we have a good enough team around him, from Trent Williams to Nick Bosa to Fred Warner to George Ayuk to Debo Samuel. We have enough guys around him to help him out through those growing pains. And so if it happens, it is what it is. And hey, you know what? If at the end of the day we have to run the ball 35 times, count me in, baby.
Yeah, you love that, huh? Just fucking mauling people.
Oh, hell yeah.
Was that last season where you threw a guy and then continued to run, or was that 2 seasons ago? I don't remember. Welcome back to the show. A couple minutes left here in hour 2 of this Feel Good Friday, August 26, 2022. AJ Hawks High School will take on Brady Quinn's high school tonight.
Wow.
In an Ohio high school football matchup that the world will be talking about. AJ's high school, Centerville, favored by 12.5.
Jeez.
Going into the Yuppies, Brady Quinn's school. AJ's not going to the game, even though he lives right around town.
Interesting. It's Ohio.
No, he's got
The
kids.
game, no, if it is at Centerville. It is not right around town.
Like you would know.
Oh, that's a hall?
I mean, an hour and a half or so.
That's nothing.
Why are they playing each
shit.
other?
For your alma mater, dude? Come on.
This is the Wee Elkin Middle School night, dude.
It's a big night, man.
The Wee Elks are going to be there?
The Wee Elks.
They
I
need
was
some
a Wee Elk,
inspiration.
yeah.
I seen some Wee Elks in my comments after I talked about Aaron Donald not being suspended, dude. You should see the internet. That's assault what he did. He deserves to be suspended. It doesn't matter where he did it. It's assault. Shut
Is
the
it because he
fuck
took
up.
the helmets off?
What's that?
Because he took the helmets off the guys? That's why it's assault, because he's swinging it, or what?
Yeah, hit him with a weapon.
Well, if he didn't use the weapon, his fists are pretty much, they're weapons to me, but I don't want to get caught by one of those.
I don't know. Did you see his helmet? The helmet bend around the other guy. I mean, it was.
He was bad.
Could have killed him.
He made very solid contact with that thing. But there's a lot of people on the internet that are outraged by this. I apologize. You're never going to get me to say, yes, he should be suspended for something he didn't practice. Mostly because I've been there, seen it, done that, and have a little bit of reason and thought in my brain. Because when are you going to start judging practice reps on what should be suspended, what should be fined? An assault literally happens every single play of football. So acting like it's just a regular society and what's going on in football, you're already a doofus and not worthy of being in a conversation with. So we move on, AJ Hawk.
Yes, we do. Are we hitting break?
Yeah, right now. Yep, just
Nice.
Did he get a clock?
It looked
I
like
do have
it.
a clock. Yeah, I think I'm like a a half of a second fast.
All right, 07, 8, 9, 10.
I'm exactly 1 second behind.
Wow, who's
That's
wrong?
good to know.
Who's right?
Wow.
I mean, ahead of you. My bad. I'm ahead of you.
Okay, so you're ahead of the game.
Which makes sense too because he's further east than us.
Yeah, true.
Oh.
So it is like a second.
In the same time zone, he's further east. He's a second ahead.
Yeah.
That ain't how it goes.
That's why the sun sets a little earlier in Columbus.
Yeah, I
than
mean,
it
if
does.
we're using a sundial, yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Which maybe we should.
Thought we still are.
Maybe we should. We're not. Because we got to get to it in an exact second.
What?
Do any of you know how to use one?
Yeah. Dude, it's right up there.
Clown.
It's just a shadow, dude.
Who doesn't?
You ever see the shadows?
All in unison.
Yeah.
Say yeah.
Well, we do know. You ever stand next to a tree in the morning? Oh, it's early. Look
Yeah.
at the shadow.
You
right
smell
there.
the dew.
The first person that started doing that was their Steve Jobs. I always like to think about that. Way back in time when, humans were just figuring it out. Like the person that created putting leaves on rocks to sit down and be more comfortable.
Sure.
Fucking ahead of their time.
Yep.
They were the kings of the castle for like 2 weeks.
Whoever
Davy
made the
Crockett.
wheel.
The wheel, obviously.
wheel's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, the wheel, obviously,
It's a big
something.
one.
But even small things like a bed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Socks. I was thinking socks the other day.
Socks came into existence and changed it all.
Yeah.
Toothbrush.
Well, who's the first person that scrambled an egg and was like, "Oh, this is good."
They accidentally dropped it.
Well, it was the bird or the egg?
That's a good question.
Was it the pterodactyl or the egg?
Had to be the bird.
I think it was evolution, and it was an egg from something else.
Okay.
Is that what you think?
I'm cool with that, yeah.
It was probably, I hate to break to you, probably family members fucking those early
For sure.
birds.
Good chance.
Probably same
Big incest
hatch.
back
It was
in
like
the
a
day.
twin. No, I'm not talking about humans. I'm talking about the
birds themselves.
first egg wasn't just one egg. It was 2 eggs.
Animals are huge into incest.
Yeah, and then they
Yuck.
just so happened to, and then it just the birds
Consummate.
happened.
Yeah, it's like the tree of life. We're
What
all,
happened with
At
that?
Disney World?
we're all related because the tree of life, we all come from ancestors that are the same lineage.
I saw a meme the other day. Genghis Khan.
Sure.
Bad guy.
Bad guy.
He had
Got
sex.
a couple kids.
Allegedly,
A couple.
he had sex with so many women that basically everybody's related.
Yeah, a couple
That's
thousand.
exactly it.
Yeah.
His kids never, son never set on them.
Yeah, he was
The
also,
sun never set on the Genghis Khan children.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Which, I mean,
Can't have it.
that guy's terrible.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to the phone. Hey, there's really people that want Aaron Donald suspended like a fucking season for this.
I saw that for real. Wait, no. How long are they saying?
In my comments right now, I am a terrible human for even mentioning that it's a
Are
joke.
people saying that? I would assume people say you should press charges too. Are they?
No, you can't.
I don't know.
Lot
Who
of-
was it
That
too?
happens. That's happened before.
Well, someone's got to pay for the funerals of those 2 men that he ripped the skulls off of as well.
I mean, those guys
so there
aren't.
was
We
heads
haven't
in
heard from them.
Heads inside the helmet still, yeah. So
Blood everywhere.
actually decapitated both the guys.
Let's go. We apologize that we don't have enough empathy for the situation, but also we might have seen the situation happen in a not helmet swinging thing numerous times a week through our lives. So it is this is football. Football will always involve hand-to-hand combat between offensive line and defensive line every single play. There's going to be smacks to heads, by the way. That's assault. Can't fucking do that. There's going to be punches. There's going to be spears. There's going to be tackles. There's going to be blindside shots that in real life you'd say, oh, that's a scumbag. But in the NFL, you go, oh, got to keep your head on a swivel out there. It's just trying to compare real life to that is just a, I understand it. I respect it. I hope you make the world a better place with your take. But also, you're hard to take serious. You're hard to take serious forever.
Yeah, I just haven't. I can't see a bunch of coaches and players coming out saying, "Yeah, absolutely, suspend this guy."
Imagine Zach Taylor goes, yeah, it was Super Bowl repeat joint practices, and what Aaron Donald did was disgusting. Why are they joint practicing?
I have no idea.
Makes no sense.
That's a long haul for Cincinnati too.
Because they're playing, right?
They are playing.
Yeah, but that's a
Still.
long haul.
I thought it was in Cincy as well.
Is it in Cincinnati?
That fight was in Cincy.
Oh, I thought it was in L.A. L.A. traveled to Cincy for the.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
Rams
if
at
he would have
Bengals.
done that in California instead of Ohio, he may have been criminally punished.
That's true. Maybe that's why he
yeah.
did it in Cincinnati.
You're right.
There's actually district attorney watching the fucking practice.
He knew.
Let
He
the
knew
boys
the
play.
law.
Send the police out.
No,
Arrest him.
No,
not in Ohio.
let the
He
boys
said
play.
fuck
Oh,
the
yeah.
money.
In LA, yes.
Guess what? I ain't getting rid of my gas car either. Take that, California.
What's up?
2035 is all I learned from that.
Yeah, and like,
That means the world is going to live till 2035, right?
Yeah.
If the people that are changing the rules for what cars have to be in 2035. That means we got at least another 13 years. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
we
good
got
to
at least
know.
another
Good
13
news.
That's what I said. All right, cool.
They would have changed it a lot earlier if they thought 2035 was the end too.
If that's the case,
Yeah, exactly.
Aliens are on the hot seat. Then what are we doing? You guys aren't going to take us by 2035.
No, we're being friends with them. I mean, why does everybody automatically assume it's negative?
Well,
You don't think they're watching what Aaron Donald just did in a practice in preseason? They're like, we don't want to fuck.
I don't want any part of that guy.
That's preseason. That's preseason. The one alien's telling the other one, this is for things that don't matter.
Wait till week 6.
This doesn't even count. We ain't going down there. No way.
I hope.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. All right. Hour 3's on the other side. It should be good. We got AQ Shipley joining us on another meathead.
Here we go.
What's he going to say, AJ?
He's a big MMA guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's wrapping up his MMA practice as we speak. We'll talk to him on the other side. See you about that.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to that show. It is Friday, August 26th, 2022. An off-air conversation was hysterical, but the on-air ones will be terrible. Let's start them now. Football is all the way back. We got 4 games. AJ, you're more than a second behind there. You can't blame your clock. You can only blame you're willing to participate in this program. To my left, your right, AJ Hawk, who is a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion, COVID survivor, Toxic Table, at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Also, one half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs. Tone, how we gambling? What are we thinking? You gave me an entire Excel spreadsheet. I think we should run through these real quick before our guest joins us because he is wrapping up his MMA practice right now.
So, tonight, Bills and Panthers. Bills aren't going to play anybody. Panthers are playing starters at least into the second quarter. That's why
We were lied to, right?
I think it was, I don't know if that was a good sign. Was Shanahan like, I don't want to show any more of what Trey looks like right now. We don't want to ruin his confidence. We get him out of the ball game.
I think what Shanahan was talking about was the offensive line not being anywhere near good enough. Kind of, that's how people were construing his words. I forget what he said, but that's what everybody was saying he was saying. But nonetheless, Trey Lance still got a lot of room to grow. Let's assume he's going to be able to pull it off.
We were lied to.
And Dougie.
Yeah, Dougie. Dog. Seahawks and Cowboys. Drew Lock's going to play 3 quarters. I think Gino's going to start. Cowboys don't ever play starters, so that's why it's a 7-point spread there for the Seahawks. Chargers and New Orleans. Chargers have never played starters. New Orleans, we don't know. And New England and Vegas, not a lot of news coming out of that one either. They've had joint practices this week as
Are you guys
well.
fighting over there?
No real fights, and I do assume they'll play starters just because Bill and McDaniels are probably on the same page as far as game plans going, like the blitz and all that
Like
shit.
first quarter?
Yeah, that was a problem before. Yeah, first quarter, probably maybe even just the first half of the first quarter.
Got it. Couple drives, couple series.
Yeah.
Saturday, Jags, Falcons, Rams, Bengals, Eagles, Dolphins, Bears, Browns, Cards, Titans, Bucks, Colts. We'll be at that game. Tom Brady will be taking on Matt Ryan. Jim Irsay tweeted that last night. That should be fun for at least a quarter. Who knows how long that'll be.
Yeah, well.
And Vikings, Broncos. Any intel on those games, Diggs?
The only one I think where starters are, 2 of them where both starters are going to go is the Bears and the Browns.
Starters are going Bears, Brown.
Yep, and then Bucks and Colts. The other ones, it doesn't look like starters are going to go really.
And Sunday, Giants at the Jets. Oh, Battle in New York.
Here we go.
And then Lions at the Steelers. What do you think there?
Steelers starters are going first half. So are the Lions, but they're not playing Goff. So, lean.
So Trubisky's playing first half?
That's what they said.
And then Kenny Pickett gets third quarter, and then Mason Rudolph gets
Probably.
fourth. Lions are not playing Goff, but they're playing everybody else.
Yep.
Is Jamal Williams playing?
I assume
Probably.
so.
Oh, yeah.
Can we bet on him getting 200 yards?
Probably.
I think. Well, and who knows if Goff walks into MCDC's office and says, "Hey, look, I'm fucking playing."
Well, Goff, MCDC actually said, there's nothing
matter.
the quarterback can say, man.
Not happening.
Not happening, man. Won't have him out there. We're paying him $30 million. We're going to wait till we got to fucking really pay him. Man.
Christ, I forgot about that.
What?
He's getting paid $30 million. I completely forgot about
What's
that.
your problem? TJ Lane said yesterday
Yeah,
it's a
worth
long-term
every penny.
answer.
It's a good
What are you
quarterback.
talking about,
My God. Jesus
Going rate,
Christ.
Con.
Yeah, he's been to a Super Bowl.
He tied Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. True. He did set the single season record for the Lions in accuracy. So people were saying, was Stafford that good in Detroit? Or
There's
no?
some other storylines. Let's bounce around a little bit. The top 20 players in the NFL have been released, but it's not in order. So the top 20 is comprised of these men right here: Devontae Adams, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Aaron Donald. If he plays this year.
Get him off right now.
Miles Garrett, Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, J.C. Jackson, Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce, Cooper Kupp, Shaquille Leonard, had a baby, Patrick Mahomes, Micah Parsons, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Rodgers, Debo Samuel, Jonathan Taylor, T.J. Watt, and Trent Williams. I guess they will debut the actual list Sunday, 8 p.m. for the top 20 of the NFL, voted on by the players, I think, and coaches or something like that. Quite an honor for those guys. No matter how good you are, it always feels good for your peers to vote you into the top of your class. Don't you think, AJ?
Absolutely. That's all people care about. It's like, how does your team feel about you? What do your peers think? Are you accountable to them? That's all that matters, really.
Yes, getting voted captain by your teammates is worth a lot more than getting voted to an all-pro by some media person that doesn't know what they're talking about. This being by the players, for the players, I assume even though these guys have accomplished a lot, most of them are incredibly wealthy already, seeing that their names made the top 20 for yet another year was a moment in which they said, that's pretty fucking cool. Same with their families, same with everybody around them, AJ.
Absolutely. I just want to know who's going to be number one.
Oh, he's going to be number 5, I want to say. Because he's top five. You know what I mean? That's a big deal. Because you can be top 20. Oh, that's cool. Not better than top 5.
No way.
What one of those losers is going to drift down to 18 or 19 in the NFL? Who will be judged worse than who?
Well, I'm pretty sure Aaron Donald has been number 1, like maybe the last 2 years, but after yesterday, are we sure that he might be 20?
Kick him out.
He's out of the 100.
Please.
Yeah, they should.
He's not in my 100.
It's a top
bad example for kids.
Never again.
Yeah.
I'm going to read some of these tweets.
He assaulted someone.
I would like to read some of these.
We should do this.
People legit mad. They're
like, yeah, people
trying to kill a guy.
Yeah,
I mean, here's the story Bob told about
turns
Flozell
out,
Adams. Anyone knows Flozell? He was a giant.
Turns out Lyle Collins also ripped off Michael Floyd's helmet and threw it at him as well.
Yeah, and Lyle Collins was at the center of all of them.
Are we
kicking him out the tour? No, he plays for the Bengals. Can't do it.
All right,
well, I think he should probably spend week 1 at least. Lyle Collins should.
All right, here we go.
Maybe.
It's like what they do on Jimmy Fallon, right?
No, this is Kimmel. Mean tweets.
I can't remember Pat ever taking so many L's before. Definitely a double standard on this take, says Joey Wolf.
So many.
Joey Wolf, obviously a man who's a father, and this is him right here, this fucking guy. I would smack you so hard in the fucking mouth if we were playing football together, Joey Wolf. You hear me? But if we're in real life, I can't do that because there's a separation between football in real life, in game, in practice, in preseason, says Joey Wolf, who would just get absolutely smacked around. The Rams should suspend him. That's not how you want a leader of your team acting. Doesn't matter if it's preseason or not, says Michael Lawrence. This guy, they seem to have a pretty similar look, these people. A lot of Ohioans, I do believe, this guy. This guy, get him. Yeah, these are a lot of Ohioans. Bengals and Myles Garrett, right? This is all of Ohio rallying behind this. It is awesome. Does it matter if it's in practice or prime time? People wanted Myles out of the league and in prison for swinging a helmet. Safety is key no matter where it happens, Pat, says Tony, who...
God damn it.
Diggs.
It wasn't me.
Tony Dogs?
No, it's Tony right here. Tony's ready to fucking go. I mean, Tony's no problem at all right there, Tony. Let's see who else.
I did enjoy one where they said, I get it, got a shill for the big market now. You got NFL rights.
Yeah, of course. We give a fuck about the Rams. I do not give a fuck about the Rams, even more so after yesterday, which is off-air stuff. Not because of what Aaron Donald did. No, because...
Different situation.
Anyways, Jack Hawk here, not to be confused with Mike. You're right. Suspension isn't enough. He needs to be thrown under the jail, especially for weeks 3 and 10. Oh, sounds like, and he's got a Ebola thing is his. So
Okay.
this guy's
gets
on
it.
our side.
Yeah, this guy's kidding.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
joking
this guy's
around.
joking around. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of heat right now, man. A lot of Ohioans have learned what Twitter is and have gotten very pissed off about Aaron Donald swinging the helmet. Let's talk to a man who had to play against Aaron Donald on a very regular basis. A man who's from the same city as Aaron Donald in Pittsburgh, and a man who might have a little bit more intel than we have on players fighting each other because that's what he did for a living. He assaulted people for a living for a long time. He got paid to go to college. Well, he got a full scholarship to college to assault people every single day of his life. In high school, he made it into a fucking Hall of Fame for assaulting people. AQ Shipley. AQ, how you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
How's MMA practice?
I love this thing. I think I like this better than I like football.
Oh, you in there rolling around, tapping out, whoa, 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 doing a little getting skin on skin? You feel like you're back in the action?
Hey, look at this, man. When I get obsessed with something, I go all in. I bought every fucking pad known to man.
You got a gi yet?
No, I didn't get a gi yet. I think that's next. I'm gonna start learning how to roll around.
Just so, and you tell us as much as you want to tell us.
Yeah.
You went into a man's basement today and did full fight practice before you came on this show.
Yeah. I mean, I met a couple guys that were
all right,
Khabib.
Couple that were professional fighters, and they asked me if I wanted to start hitting mitts with them, and I started hitting mitts with them, and I'm obsessed with it. I bought the same fucking bike that we do for training over there, so I can get extra here. I bought gloves. I got the fucking pads. I'm about to put my kids into fucking BJJ practice. Like, I'm all in right now.
How are you allowed to do this? But they said like your neck would break if you did football again.
Well, I'm not taking shots. I'm just hitting mitts.
So you're just like you're like a mark for this fight club. You get to go into this fight club down there, and you're just on the side. Oh, that was good.
That
was a good combo.
See the elbow high?
Wow. I wouldn't take you on.
No.
Thanks.
Are you punching people down there? Because motherfuckers need to be arrested for that.
No punching. It's just hitting mitts and getting your heart rate up to 180 and laying on the ground feeling like you're gonna fucking die forever.
There's some clips of AJ training as well. And I was wondering if you had ever done any of these.
Pretty high level stuff. Yeah.
AJ, you're a big MMA guy, right? Don't you do some of this training?
Nope. I was a fan of MMA. I still am a fan of it.
I think AQ's the same thing. AQ's kind of on the side. You're hitting mitts while they're rolling, and then in between periods, you're doing your thing. How's it go?
There's a heavy bag. There's like an uppercut bag. Two guys are holding mitts, so you kind of just work this little rotation. There's no on the ground stuff for this stuff. I think they do that some other time, but I'm not ready for that. I honestly don't think I can.
Not with
do
your
that.
neck.
Yeah, your neck.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that.
They made me tap out 6 times in 1 minute before all those guys. I went and did it one time. It was a bad decision. I regretted it immediately. I had double arm bar. I broke both my arms. I tried to tap out. I'd do it with my foot. Couldn't do it because I couldn't move my arms. They're both like.
I got a lot of respect for these guys because this shit's the hardest thing I've ever fucking done.
We couldn't find a video of this particular drill, but did you do any of this? Did you do any of the side kicking with somebody holding the bag? Have you gotten to the legs yet, or just mitts?
So we did. They had the tie pads today, so they were holding off to the side, and you had to kind of rotate
Couple
hip
knees,
kick. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Are you getting stars for every class you go to? And how many people are in the class?
It's different every week. It's funny. I think there's like 8 or 10 guys on the group chat. Sometimes there's 6, sometimes there's 4. These guys are all like pretty successful people, so it's like I'm just trying to rub elbows.
No, you're not trying to rub. You're trying to throw.
Yeah,
high
elbows.
You're trying to throw high elbows. What? Hey, did you hear about this Aaron Donald stuff? I'm getting attacked right now for saying, what are we even talking about for this guy getting suspended in the regular season for a preseason practice helmet throw? Now, it was obviously alarming. It's obviously not something you would like to become a habit or to happen, but these joint practices are basically a setup for a melee every single time. What are your takes and thoughts on people saying they should be suspended? Aaron Donald should be suspended forever, AQ.
I think they should go to training camp and watch a training camp practice because there's 16 fights of fucking practice. And then now you're going to mix another team in. There's going to be 16 more fights, right? Like that's just ultimately what happens. I mean, it's obviously you in the heat of the moment, you don't want to see somebody grab a helmet and try and fucking clock you in the head with a helmet. Probably not the best decision he ever made. I would have to say that, but you do see fights consistently in training camp practices, and then whenever it's joint practices, it's even elevated.
Yeah, I concur. Go ahead, AJ.
Do you think joint practices will be something that they like take a look at and say, hey, we may never do this again?
Well, I think they're starting to get to that point, right? Like, I mean, I think you're starting to get more and more fights. I think these coaches think it's a great idea because now that's a way to get work in and not have to maybe risk as much injury in a game. So now you can get that full speed work against another team. But now if it becomes, detrimental to everybody, right? Because now you're starting to have to worry about all these fights. You're seeing 2 or 3 fights almost every joint practice. These players fucking hate it. Like, let's be honest, they fucking hate it. You hated it as a player. I hated it as a player. Like, you guys, MCDC say, all right, we're going to get this thing. I can't wait for these next 2 days a week. Every player in their mind's like, God, fuck.
Yeah.
2 more days of this shit. You
Yeah.
know, like, nobody wants it.
Yeah, no players want it. Coaches and evaluators want it, though, for everything you said. You get an eyes on 2 rosters as opposed to 1, and you own all the film. So normally you only get to see like game tape, and if you have a relationship with somebody, you can see a guy who's maybe your 56th person on your roster, but on another team he might be 51 or 52. So there's a difference between being cut, making a team, and maybe you're missing a spot. Now you're seeing an entire another roster of 80, 85, 90 people. Not everybody's going to make team. Like, I see why it's beneficial from an evaluation standpoint. I see why coaches enjoy it because you can get exposed in those situations a little bit different from somebody else's team as opposed to your own team. But I haven't heard one single player that's like, let's do joint practice. Not a right, not a. And I think the NFL will have to look at it, especially, and maybe that's why Aaron Donald did it.
Yeah,
could have been.
Maybe Aaron Donald and that Cincinnati Bengals guy, after a really polite first practice, second day they said, hey, we got to do some real shit, or we'll have to do this every single year. We ain't doing this anymore. And they're like, what's some real shit? And the Bengals guy was like, oh, you should Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph. Perfect. All right. That's why I'll leave it unstrapped a little bit, and I'll tell you when. And then you fucking swing that thing. It'll become such a backlash that everybody will be like, no more of these joint practices. Hey, Q, what do you think about that? You think maybe that's what happened?
I mean, if that was orchestrated, that's maybe the greatest thing that I've ever heard in my life, right? I mean, like that would be that would be an all-time plan, But no, I mean, I don't think it happened. I think again, it's heat of the moment stuff and shit. Shit happens, especially in those joint things now, and especially with Aaron. Like that's what you got to understand, right? Like every single game that guy's played for the last 7 years, right? He's playing the 3 technique on the outside. The center is sliding to him, and he's taking 2 shots every time, right? So now you amplify this in practice, and it's like, hey, like, where the fuck's 99? Okay, we're going to slide to him. And now all practice long, he's working the outside shoulder of the guard, and that center's coming and getting a shot. Eventually, it's going to piss him off. You hit him in the back. You hit him in the side. Maybe now he's pissed. He's hot. It's in the middle of wherever they practice, Louisville, Kentucky, Cincinnati. I don't know where they're at. And he's like, man, he's like, forget this shit. I'm done. I'm fucking swinging now. Exactly.
Well, Aaron does that move where he grabs somebody's face, and you can tell that he's making eye contact with him, and he's telling him, he's probably done it to you, I don't know, but he's telling him, I think, like, hey, this is not what you want to do with your life right now. And then if it escalates, you can see how he goes, well, that's fucking mine. Yep. Myles Garrett did that, and wham! Now, he did hit somebody else with a helmet on with the helmet. So I don't know if he maybe took, like, Kevin Huber's helmet, the punter's helmet off, and went in and hit an offensive lineman. But there's people calling for him to be suspended forever at this point. 6 games is precedent.
Somebody got a nice shot on him at the end, though. I will say he took a little spill at the end. I don't know who got a nice little push on him at the end. It was pretty nice to see.
You had to play against him a lot. He's the guy, huh? He is the guy. Why is he the guy?
He's so talented. I mean, he's I don't know. I mean,
he's a dog, though, right? He's a dog, too. Like, that's the thing. He's from Pittsburgh, obviously.
He's really good, man. I mean, there's no other. When it's all said and done, he might be the best defensive lineman ever to play the game, right? I think people are probably putting him in that category already. He's just so good at keeping his feet moving. He has a motor. You sit there and it's every coach is like, oh, get your hands on him. Get your hands on him. It's fucking gee. You lose right now when you're trying to get your hands on him. It's a fucking wrap. Quarterback's down, right? So, like, it's one of them things where you almost don't want to get your hands on. You want to kind of make him make a move and then hope to hold on and balls out, right? Like it's one of those things because he's so good at winning right now at the line of scrimmage. He does such a good job flipping his hips either way, no matter what. You overset him a tick, he's inside. Now the center's short and he works back this side. it's incredible what he does. When you watch his film, it's impressive to break down.
I'd say, and you got to play against him. You did well. I think I've seen some clips of that whole thing, but that's not what you want your leader to do.
No.
That's not what you want your leader of your team to do. That's what Mike from Ohio said.
Sure.
He's an embarrassment to the Rams, this guy. That's what I was told. Aaron Donald, the guy that fucking won a Super Bowl for him, literally on the last play. He's the best player of all time. Best player of the year. That's not what you want as a leader, that guy, getting that fired up for a fucking joint practice that doesn't mean a fucking thing on whether or not Aaron Donald's going to have success this year.
Yeah.
Right? That's another added element to this, that he is invested enough in this practice to care enough to get into a fight like that, as opposed to just being like, yeah, this is a fucking waste of time.
The
right
fact
now.
that he's out there is a big
Yes.
deal. The fact that he's even practicing is huge, let alone he's this invested. You're right. Like, he cares that much. When people are talking about him retiring and the guy, like, he's that passionate, like this, you could turn this into a very positive thing for them.
No, it is. It's not what you want out of a leader. AQ, that's not what you want out of a leader. So.
Oh no, should I be doing that?
That's what I was. My comment. Let's read one. Let's read another one.
This should be a segment where you zoom in on all these guys' faces. I was watching. That was pretty good.
So he shouldn't be held accountable for endangering the safety of another team's players, says Max Powers. This guy fucking cares, dude.
Looks like me in a fucking helmet.
What did they do to him though? Did 7 guys jump him before? We don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to know. I'd love to know the play leading up to that. I really would.
I assume there was not just one play, right? That's a
couple.
That's a full. You breaking down how the center is like, okay, 99 to the right here. So I'm gonna snap this and I'm gonna put my helmet right into his ribs, his ribs here, while he's getting work in the preseason with the guard right there at the time.
I'm telling you, and this is a legitimate statement. I'm going into Rams week. Almost every team in the league installs a new protection. They'll just literally call it, go to 99. Find him. Oh, he's over there? Perfect. We're going that way. Back go the other way. Oh, he's over there? We're going that way. That's what, they've done a nice job of trying, when Staley went there, they started doing a nice job. When Wade was there, Wade ran his scheme, his system, and, obviously Wade's a legend, right? But he stuck with his scheme like a lot of great coaches do. Their scheme works, they stick with it, right? So they would put 99 to the 3 technique, and as AJ knows, right, in 4-2 scheme, typically the Mike linebacker's 2 to 3 tech, right? So you could always end up sliding to 99. When Staley went there, they would start going a lot more 5 down stuff or putting the Mike opposite 99. So now you have to make a decision. Do we slide to the fucking Mike or do we go to 99? And now teams started saying, fuck it, we're just going to go to 99. And then now they start running all these blitzes the other way and getting you blitzing on the back, and they got guys that can rush the passer who are blitzing the back. So, it ends up being such
Bobby Wagner, then. What you just broke down is Bobby Wagner just signed with them, Super Bowl fucking MVP almost.
Yeah.
Or was he? I don't remember.
No.
If he had a touchdown. Whatever the case. Bobby Wagner just signed there, and that's now the game that you guys are going to have to play on the offensive lineman, I guess?
Yeah, it's going to be such a, and they always put Floyd opposite him. So you got him, you got Donald here, you got Floyd over there, you got the Mike to this side, you probably put Jalen somewhere else. So it's like, pick your poison, you're fucked either way.
Well, don't put a helmet inside Aaron Donald a few times, especially if you're from fucking Ohio. That's
right.
Okay, he's still a Pittsburgh dude. That's the way it's going to go. Ty, your question for AQ?
AQ, the Packers recently moved Bakhtiari off the PUP, and now it's kind of been like he's feeling better, but they don't know when he's going to play. When you're coming off a major injury like that, how do you temper wanting to get back in there, but also knowing that you don't feel right? And obviously he's the only guy who will know, but when do you expect him to kind of actually have his feet back under him, so to speak, completely?
Yeah, it's a good question. So when I came off my ACL, I played my first game a little over a year after it happened, and adrenaline can do amazing things. So when you get in those games, some things can really change. But I will say that, it did not feel 100% normal until that 18-month mark, which I think he's probably past that point at this point. So at his stage, it just has to become a comfort level. It has to just be getting reps again, trusting it, doing all that things. It's that injury is more psychological than it is anything else. And, I know he's had a couple setbacks and stuff like that, but I think once he trusts it and gets rolling again, I think he'll be pretty good.
Yeah. Have you told those people in your little fight club that, for the rest of your life, you and me with that neck thing, I just give you one little hip toss, you're probably in a wheelchair forever. So, like, you have to. Have you told him that? Have you told him that or no?
No, I haven't told him that. That has never come up. Actually.
That's one of my favorite moments in the history of maybe my friendship with anybody, is because it was such a devastating blow to you. You go into the meeting, right? I don't think you were expecting to hear the news at all that you were hearing. Kind of out of nowhere. Hey, yeah, by the way, never going to be able to play football again. You've committed your entire. It's like, God damn, Doc, can we have slowed down maybe into that? And it took you, and I got an opportunity to chat with you that day. Very lucky to talk to you that day. And I was trying to figure out how do we get a little positivity out of this thing at the end, And it's a true statement. I still stand by it to this day. I want to let you know that. On a golf course, you fucking get a little sideways or whatever. Just know that you're one away from us just wheeling you out of there, right? Is that how it works? I don't know science enough. Is that it?
I think it's something like that. It's like ironic that like the doc was like, hey, for the next 6 weeks, let's try not to get into a car accident. Let's and I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? And ironically, 5 weeks later,
what?
It's like 3 days before the Super Bowl. I come to a stop, coming up to an exit. I'm looking in the rearview mirror. This girl's staring at her phone. Rear ends me doing 45 miles an hour. Luckily, I'm watching the whole thing in real time. I fucking cut the wheel to the right, take my foot off the brake, and just off to the side. Got rear-ended doing 45, 50 miles an hour.
Jesus. Almost took. Yeah, she has no idea. She almost took you out. She almost really changed everything. What happened to you? What was it?
She was probably driving with 2 feet.
She probably was.
Technical term was, bruise to the spinal cord and stenosis of the neck, which is like a narrowing of the spinal column. So over time, just doing what we do, right? Like the spinal column starts to narrow. And then if you take the right hit, now that cord hits that column. It's a lot closer. There's not as much space as a normal person. So that's kind of what happened. I got lucky as hell.
Can it get better or no?
I think most doctors have said that bruise is going to be there forever. So just stay away from that. Yeah.
Was that when that happened? Was that the first time you ever dealt with any kind of neck issue?
Don't try me.
So in 2013 with the Ravens, actually playing the Bengals in Baltimore, downhill, running a belly, downhill collision with Vontaze Burfict, and kind of had something similar. It wasn't as long, it wasn't as drastic, and just kind of shut down, neck down for not as long of a period. This one scared the shit out of me because this one was like 35, 40 seconds long.
God, I'm happy you're okay.
Jeez.
Thanks, guys.
I'm happy you're hitting mitts in some guy's basement these days.
Oh, yeah.
It is nice.
Vastly, they still got
I want to let them know. Do they know about your neck?
They know. Yeah, everybody knows. Yeah, trust me. There's nothing coming back. It's just all. Honestly, by the end of it, I look like the most out of shape person. By the end of it, I'm sitting there just.
It's impossible. Those workouts are impossible.
Did you see me at SummerSlam, pal? I look like the most out of shape person in a lot of situations. Go ahead, Boston Connor.
Yeah, Coach. For offensive linemen and people that might think you're just going to show up and just block whoever's in front of you, how hard is it to learn a new scheme? I mean, you just mentioned putting in a whole new set when you're playing Aaron Donald, but for a team like the Patriots, where maybe they're changing their entire offense, how hard is it to change your terminology and to learn a completely different offense versus the year before?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for people that say this, especially when you're going to a new scheme, something where you've really never been in before, terminology's different, guys that have been there forever, now they got little code word lingos. It takes some time. It takes some time even if you have been there and haven't been working with the same guys, right? Like you're the backup guard, now all of a sudden you're thrown into the starting lineup. Well, the left guard and the left tackle might have a completely different language. They might have their own language of communicating. The left guard and the center had their own. Now you come in and all you know is what you've been taught by the book, and they've kind of created everything evolves into its own little world, right? So it's such a different world when you get thrown into that situation. You're mid-August or late August, you get thrown into a new team. First, you got to learn the playbook. Now, on top of that, now you got to learn the little things that, the center comes up with or the left tackle comes up with, the different communication. So to that point, then beyond that, you got to learn how that center wants you to step. You got to learn how that left tackle wants you to step for your deuce blocks or whatever it may be. it could take a long time. And so anybody that thinks it's like as easy as just like, oh, these guys just run into fucking people, not right.
Well, that's because all you offensive linemen judge and shame other offensive linemen who try to talk about what you guys do. That's your own fucking fault.
Shame.
Who's doing that?
For the history of time.
Yeah.
Everybody forever.
They're just judging other offensive linemen?
Well, yeah, because if offensive linemen, it's like the Navy SEALs. Like if Navy SEAls come out and tell stories about what they did, all the other Navy SEAls are like, that ain't what we do. Offensive linemen, like, we ain't talking. Like, hey, what are you? This guy's on. Like, people get fined for being on camera. It's like, well, I think the world deserves to know a little bit more about the offensive line
Yeah,
play.
I think so.
The world needs to know a little bit more about the offensive line play. And since we do believe that, and we stand firmly in that belief, we'd like to make an announcement.
Ooh.
This upcoming NFL season. AQ Shipley will be live in studio once a week. Let's go! Hey, listen, I don't know if
Fired up.
Hey, I hope you survive your little fight clubs. You know, I hope you get a chance to do that. It'll be great to have you in the Thunderdome. I can't wait to hear your brain spill onto film and spill into the conversation. It's good for all offensive linemen when an offensive lineman starts speaking for them. I think I got a chance to do that for punters and kickers. You, Stink, many others who are TJ Lang, incredible offensive lineman personalities we're lucky to have. We can't wait to see you, pal.
Fired up, boys. I can't wait to shine the light on the big boys up front and give them the due credit that they all deserve.
That's right. We'll bring some Tide pads, too, for you to
Goddamn
Hell
right.
yeah.
do some
Yeah.
kicking
Get a
of
couple
the ass.
knees.
Show us
in.
the ropes.
Yeah, do a couple kicks like this. Have a great day. Have a great afternoon. Stay away from car crashes. We'll see you this fall, pal.
Appreciate you, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, MMA fighter, AQ Shipley. I asked him, you know, I'm like, hey, want to make the announcement today or whatever? He's like, sure, sounds good. I got MMA practice till. I laughed so hard. I could not take it serious. And I did a lot of follow-up off-air what it was. It sounds like a great thing. He's enjoying it. It's going to give him a routine.
Yeah.
With some high-level guys, it sounds like, too, right?
A routine, a schedule. I think he's learning a lot. Like
Little
this,
locker room.
Yeah, this is perfect for what a retired player needs. I wish it was in more places. Now, he should be telling these people, though, hey, you know,
Be careful.
I'm going to get out of here. I got to hit the road. Got
Detroit.
Detroit Rock City.
Hell yeah.
Jesus. Good
So
luck.
where is it there? Where do they play basketball?
That's a great question.
Little
Palace?
Caesars Arena, I assume.
Little
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Yep.
Not Papa John's Arena.
No.
No, they had to get rid of that.
Is that what it was? No way. It was always Little
It's
Caesars.
always Little Caesars.
LCA.
It's a pizza. Is that what they
Yeah.
said?
Pizza.
It's a pizza.
Piece of pizza.
Pizza,
You got it
pizza.
first time.
Yeah.
It's a pizza.
It's pizza, I guess.
What's your problem?
It stinks.
Little Caesars?
Yeah, it's trash.
Nick
There's
loves
no bad
Little
pizza.
Caesars.
There
I know
is
that
bad.
for a
Oh,
fact.
you
Jay.
didn't have the pizza that the Colts gave us at the fucking suite last week. There is bad pizza. There is.
I don't know. Bad pizza is still better than
Nope.
average other stuff.
Nope. This pizza we
probably still
got.
there.
I mean, it is.
I mean, if they put a bunch of toppings on it, maybe.
old
That's
socks
how they
in
ruin
it.
it.
it was so
The
good.
cheese still looked grated.
Yeah, it was
They
great.
melt.
Oh, what, was it like a fancy flatbread?
No.
thing? I
No.
hate-
Nope.
Opposite.
Nope. It was using somebody else's box too. I think they're running a little well liquor into Patron bottle situation.
Papa John's threw this pizza out, and the Colts said, "Okay, we'll use it for our sweets."
Thank God those wings were so delicious, that they saw me eating. Because if I was to rely on that pizza we got at halftime, I think we would all starved. Yes. I'm not sure there's a single suite that eats a single. Maybe there's not a person in any of those suites that eats more than one slice.
No way.
Are we running it back with that pizza?
Yeah, order it again. Because actually, this is like downsize me. When I downsizing.
Supersize me.
I didn't think that movie could be as bad as it was, so I watched it again. 3 hours. Watched it again. No way this movie sucks this bad. I must got a misread on it. It did.
Sure.
We're doing that with the pizza.
Okay.
We must have got a bad pizza.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a couple things that were bad in that sweet. So, I
What
hope
else?
it was
What
just
are you
a
talking
one-time thing.
Connor's a Patriots fan. We got to remember that going into the Colts suites.
There was an 8-year-old apple rind inside one of the cup holders. Okay, that's what else.
That was honestly impressive.
Yeah,
I think somebody working on the field probably walked
Oh,
by,
yeah.
dropped that thing in there.
someone
What was
who
the movie you talked about?
constructing the goddamn stadium.
Downsize me.
I don't think I've seen that.
Downsizing.
Downsizing. It's with Matt Damon. It is awful.
I don't think I've heard of that. Okay.
Well, there's a reason.
Yeah,
I watched it because I like Matt Damon.
Yeah, The Martian. Come on.
Is this part of the crypto commercial?
Well, as they've been saying forever, fortune favors the smarts.
The brave.
Or whatever the fuck he said, yeah. That's not what they said, Matt. What's
No, that's not the term.
Clown.
Or the expression.
And by the way, how's crypto doing?
People are getting sued, man.
Well, the NFL's launching NFTs today.
They are.
Genius.
I saw them marketing that last night.
Pat Mahomes, right?
And OBJ.
Mm-hmm.
I looked
So-
at my wife during it. I'm like, I didn't know these were still a thing. These are
No.
still a thing? NFTs still a thing? Are they? Who would know?
No, they're not.
Marks like Bill, I assume, have bought all these today. So
Bill.
Those Bored Apes, I mean, some that were sold for $50K, $100K are down to like $5,000.
Bill, get out of coding, dude.
Yep.
For real, because the
hopefully it's
NFL was
coding.
doing it. I saw it. I'm like, well, I
Last
guess
night.
they've been building it for a while, so they couldn't. It probably, as they were in the process, like, oh, this is not good.
Roll it out. Fucking roll it. We spend way too much time on this.
Yeah.
NFT still a thing or no? Like the NFL thing, is that going to, you think, last?
Yeah, the NFL all day, and then the NBA Top Shot are still going because people see, there's new stuff coming out and there's limited amounts. I think like the art world in NFTs has really cooled off. I mean, NFTs in general have really, like, the value of them has really dived down.
Crashed.
But there's still like a market for the NFL all day and the NBA Top Shot.
Is it going to go back up eventually, though, like a stock or what?
I mean, people assume so, but there's people
Bill.
that say against it too.
Bill, you have a quota. Nope. You have a bag of $250,000. Go buy all these NFL things.
Right
There
now.
we go.
Just like the Zion, though. Zion did go down, our Zion moment. But, hey, great
Well.
season coming. Great season coming.
Yeah, and that was because of Zion, not because of the card.
No, it was because of the Pelicans. They wouldn't fucking put him in a goddamn game.
True. But because he wasn't playing. If he comes back, has a great year, which he should, all signs are pointing
Who's
to
buying him? Me?
No,
Well, already got a max deal, right?
It feels, yeah. I
Wow,
already
with
did.
incentives. It was the weirdest max deal of all time.
Yeah.
Who's buying these?
And what's it look like when you buy it? What does it look like on your phone?
So
or where
whenever
do
you
store
buy it, you
Like
buy
Gary
a,
V's buying all these today?
Well,
Yeah,
he's
like
making
you-
his own.
You buy a pack, and it comes with how many ever randomized cards. And, like, you have a certain chance of getting the legendary ones that are more valuable, and they're, like,
Who
lower
says they're
mint.
more valuable, though?
So there's only, like, 5 of them printed, as opposed to, like, 300 of them printed.
supply.
So
Yeah, but
less
isn't it-
people will
can
have
I not just screenshot it?
No, because then you don't have the ability to sell it because you don't own the rights
Yeah.
to that number 4.
Oh, so
version of this.
there's like a
Yeah.
code or
It's like
something.
a serial. Yeah, there's a
Certificate of
serial number.
authenticity.
Yeah, you know how Ultimate Team works at all with like the video games? Because in video games,
Absolutely
no.
not.
So in video games, in Ultimate Team, which is where you build your own team, you buy packs of cards, and in those cards, sometimes you get like a gold value player. So like you have an Ultimate Team player, so does AJ.
But you can use that
I have
player
one?
to
Yeah.
play the game.
How'd they put me in there?
I believe you have one.
No, I do not. AJ definitely does.
AJ last year, I remember people tweeting this. It's like the gold version of AJ. So his best year, all of his best stats. That's like what the gold version of a Top Shot card is because there's only like 4 or 5.
So who controls who starts the NFTs then? Like the NFL NFTs, are the NFL owns them right
Does
now?
the AJ Ultimate Team guy play?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do these NFTs play? Like, is Brett Favre for $41,000 going out and slinging a touchdown in your house?
There is like fantasy leagues that you play with your card. So like you'll have you have a Joe Burrow moment, you get Joe Burrow in that fantasy league.
Okay.
Are we like Brian Gumbel and say, what is this thing called the internet? Is that what we're doing here?
Yes.
No.
Yes,
no.
that is us, AJ.
Back in the day, the clip
If
from like
for
Good Morning America?
$41,000, Brett Favre will fucking come and throw me a touchdown in my backyard, I will bid on that son of a bitch every day of the week.
41,000 ain't gonna get it done. That's where it's at right now. That thing's going up to 100.
Okay, I'll do 100.
For Brett in Wranglers, come toss you a fucking football.
No, I want him in full pads. 2
Hey,
hours.
Bill, is Bill still there?
Yes, sir.
What about, do people lose these like they do like Bitcoin or whatever and you can never get them again?
There are like phishing scams out there to where you click a link, it signs them into your account, and they just drain that shit.
All right,
Weapons.
it's all gonna work out. NFTs matter. Let's remember that.
They do.
They will.
It's the future of trading cards.
Absolutely. Gary V's all in on him. So if Gary's in on him, he's ahead of the game. I'm gonna be in on him.
Thibodeau's in on him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's why he almost didn't.
Kayvon.
There's a Dougie Mills for $37.
Is Ty going to VCon next year?
That's it.
Get Dougie Mills. We would like Dougie.
Get Dougie Mills.
What does this do? Do we get into anything because we buy this, or we just have this on somewhere?
That stuff's like the metaverse. I don't think it's anything like that. No. This is just like, hey, you got a futuristic playing card that might be worth a lot of money someday, like the old playing cards.
We're the worst. All right, we're the worst. We're an internet football show.
Yeah.
And internet football things happened, and we have no idea what it is.
Well, that's for the internet football marks, though. You know, we're more about the game.
You're right. That's why I can't suspend Aaron Donald. It's fucking practice.
Bingo.
That's right.
And also, there is now photos surfacing of somebody for the Cincinnati Bengals wielding a Rams helmet as well. So, remember, all you Bengals fans that are showing up in my mentions. Let's keep that same energy. Let's keep that same energy. Get rid of that offensive line you guys just brought in.
Bingo.
Or you just say, it's a joint practice and training camp. Boys are going to fight.
That's right.
Understandable.
That's just going to happen. Let's move on. All right, I'm out of here. See you guys. Have an incredible weekend of preseason football. AJ, you're the best. Take them home. Let's do a giveaway one on the other side of this.
Hell yeah.
Let's do a good giveaway.
You got it.
All right, see you guys all. Goodbye. So have a great weekend. I love you. Pooch Out is tomorrow. See you all there. Goodbye. Hey, we're up to something big. Hey, we're up to something big, AJ. We are up to something. This is the coolest moment of the history of my existence. I think people are going to be startled. It's a joke, and I can't thank everybody enough, honestly. I'm up to something. Today's a big time day. Let's go. Not only are we going back to Plum to do something cool, but today is the day that our heater horse has arrived for the Super Bowl. It's a pretty big deal. You know, whenever you get a chance to give back to where you're from, especially a place that helped create me and mold me, I'm very, very lucky to do it. I'm lucky to be from here, and it seems like the only smart thing to do would be give back.
It stinks here, huh? What's up, Kennywood, dude? Kennywood is named after Kenny's Woods. A man named Kenny owned the hill in the woody area. They turned it into an amusement park, which is a Yinzer staple. So Jeezy actually shouts out this area we are currently in. I think life can be much simpler whenever you just take care of your people, enjoy your life, and do your thing, and that's all we're trying to do. You know, growing old, slowly dying. How about you? How's everybody? I'm gonna give a full lead up to how I got to where I'm at. I think I'm very lucky to be from here. If you're a kid that has walked through these halls, you understand something that not a lot of people do. I think Plum is a much different place than everywhere else. And there's Nick up there. Go look at Nick, how pissed off he is. This past summer, I was driving through here because I was here for an event, and Angelo Bolino, little blonde-haired kid, was kicking on the same field that I used to kick on as a child. And he had like 2 balls in a holder. And I was watching him kick, and then he would go shag for himself, and then he would come back and kick. And the easy question is, if he had 10 balls, how much better could Angelo Bolino be? If I would have been able to have 10 balls, 15 balls, new cleats, new everything, chances to go to camps with my teammates and everything, what could have happened? So I said to myself, literally after meeting with Angelo, great season, by the way, dude. I said, if I ever get a chance, I'm going to try to take care of the potential humans and kids that were in my exact position in Plum. I'm going to give $200,000 to the Plum area soccer. I'm going to give $150,000 to the PMFA youth football. I'm going to give $100,000 to the baseball youth. I'm going to give $100,000 to the lacrosse. And then we're going to have $2 million in this fund that'll just start. And hopefully it'll only go on from there. Sweet stuff for sports. Just anything to make everybody's, the teams and the players' lives easier, better. Trying to streamline the entire process of taking care of the athletes at Plum High School is kind of what it's all about. Hey, you too. Wow, dude, that was cool. All right, Narati, like the Indy. You're going to have a lot of people.
Hey, August 26th, I'm AJ Hawk here sitting in for Pat McAfee as he heads off to Detroit for SmackDown. The boys are still back in studio. I think at least a couple of them. And this guy, Con Man, Connor Campbell, you've been sitting here texting me this whole time during the break. I know you want to let the people know what this giveaway is. Please go, Con.
Thank you, AJ. I have been itching to get this off my chest. Yes, we will do a giveaway. It is hashtag PMS13, the number 13, days till football. Hashtag PMS13, days till football. I'm not going to spell it out because if you can't spell it, you don't deserve to win. PMS 13 days till football. Tweet your favorite week 1 matchup that is coming up in about 13 days. I guess it's more so 13 or
13 to 16,
16,
but you
yeah,
get it.
because the Sunday slate as well. Include your cash tag in there. Hashtag PMS 13 days till football. Favorite week 1 matchup. Add your cash tag, and we'll pick, 5 or 10 winners of $500.
Let's do 10, huh?
Well, let's do 10 just because it is football season.
Right.
We're excited too. So, yeah, we'll do 10 winners, $500, and tweet hashtag PMS 13 days till football, AJ.
Good job, Boston Connor. We appreciate you. I was thinking of the Niners when you were talking for some reason. Trey Lance. Why are you guys so down on him? What happened? What's going on? I thought at least whatever happens, like the dude looks crazy athletic and he looks like he has a rocket for an arm at the very least, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just tough because it's like the Jimmy G thing. Like they just went to the AFC Championship, but they still have 4, 5, 6 weeks at the start of the regular season to figure it out. Because what was it, the Colts-Niners game where it was kind of like whoever wins this game, their season stays alive. Whoever loses, they're kind of fucked. Because I think the Niners went to like 2-6 or something like that after that game. So I don't know. I'm not worried about it yet, but he just didn't look good yesterday.
I think it's easy to forget too because the season goes by so fast, but like it is such a long season. Like really in the grand scheme of things, unless you completely fucking stink out of the gate, like if you start 3-4 or even like 2-5, like you're a team as good as the Niners should be, like you can still get hot at the right time and be fine.
Oh, you're 100% right. I mean, the month of September, when you're sitting there, let's think of Thanksgiving time, fast forward in your brain. When you think back to September, you're like, wow, was that even this season? Like, it feels like it was 12 months ago. I feel like when you think of, like, football terms when it comes to the NFL. But also with Jimmy G, what's going to happen now? What's most likely? The Niners cut him the last day of cuts, and then he has 6 days to get ready when the Seahawks pick him up, or what?
Yeah, Tuesday, I think, is the last day. They kind of have to let him go by then or trade him by then. But it feels like the Seahawks aren't going to be – I don't know what's going to happen when Jimmy.
You don't think they'll snatch him up?
It's got to be the Seahawks. Where else is he going to go? Because from, like, you'd assume his agent especially – like, he wants to start this year, and he wants to be able to make starting quarterback money or at least closer to it. He went to the Super Bowl and the NFC Championship in the last 3 years. Like, you would assume that they can say whatever they want, but, Seattle, if they're really not just rebuilding and tanking or whatever you want to call it, what he makes them better at quarterback, it makes no sense why they wouldn't go get him.
Yeah, I guess it would just what would be amazing if he gets cut and Seattle signs him, and he starts 5 days later. Like, how sweet would that be? Very, very difficult to do, but hey, I would love to see
I think
it.
they play San Francisco week 2, maybe.
Probably.
So,
be incredible.
Yeah.
But, how hard is it, you think, for him to learn all that stuff? Is it as simple as, as it kind of sounds, or is it more so, hey, this is going to take you a couple weeks? Because when he got traded to San Fran, he didn't play, I don't know, I think it was the first 6 or 7 weeks, and then they were 1-9 or 0-10, and he won 6 straight games.
I mean, it would be, you'd be winging it a lot. It'd be tough, and I think it's a similar offense that he has ran in San Fran somewhat, but just the terminology, you'd have to have 7 wristbands on just to call the plays. I feel like when they radio them into you or whatever, you would have to do for the guys. You have to just get a small group of plays, runs and passes that you love, and hopefully those work that week. I guess that's the only option you can have.
Oh, and you wonder if someone else thinks that's not the Seahawks, the Panthers or somebody that's already spending a shit ton of money, but they just don't care, and maybe he agrees to come in on a lower deal. Because aside from Seattle, is there any other team that we could think of that might sign him? I don't think so.
No, I feel like if it's not Seattle, then I don't think I don't think he's gonna accept necessarily a low paying deal to go be a backup somewhere. At that point, you might as well wait the first however many weeks and see if someone gets hurt and a team panics and needs you immediately.
Why haven't the Browns done, or why are the Browns out of it? Did they say they wouldn't do it, or what? What's going on?
Like Jake Brissett?
I don't know if they said they wouldn't do it, but it seems like they're like the plan from the get-go was Jacoby if Deshaun Watson can't play, and they're just sticking with that.
What if the Browns surprise
AJ,
people?
the Browns have no upside to saying that right now. Like, they have to wait till he's released, right? Because no matter what they say now, it doesn't matter until he's released, because otherwise the 49ers can hold whatever leverage in that trade situation. So they would know the Browns need him, right? So they could just try and milk as much as they could out of him. But if they release him, then the Browns could easily come in, offer him a $10 or $15 million deal. Here, you're going to play half the season, wait till Deshaun gets ready, and then you'll be a free agent again.
And that might be Seattle's thought too. Like Seattle might be saying all this stuff like we have 2 QB1s and everything, just so that when he does, if he gets cut, becomes a free agent, they can throw a bunch of money at him and then maybe trade Geno or Drew Lock for some sort of value because they've been pumping their brakes or pumping their gas, whatever the hell it is, this entire preseason. Yeah, tires. There it is.
But yeah, we don't know anything. You're right. The teams would be, if you're Seattle, of course you're saying, yeah, we love these guys, they're great, whatever. And if you're Cleveland, you want to let that talk die down, but we don't know. Like, we have no clue what's going to happen
idea
if he does get cut.
And Seattle is like one of those places I feel like if you're a quarterback where it's like, okay, Noah Fant, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. Like, yeah, I'd love to play for Seattle. Who knows about the O-line and the defense? Who knows? But they still got some guys on that side. So it feels like Seattle's almost like a place you'd want to go play quarterback because of the weapons they have.
I would imagine being a quarterback in Pete Carroll's system too. Like, I know it's not Pete Carroll's offense and what he does. He's a defensive guy, but remember Shaquem Griffin came on. Like, it sounds like, it's a pretty fun place to go to work. And I know guys that have played for him and guys that coach for him. They're like, yeah, man, it is a lot of fun, family environment. And my one buddy that coached out there, he wears cleats every single day, runs routes. Like, it's a physical and mental toll out there, but it's fun, I guess.
Yeah, Sounders are good too. So it's
true.
Like, you got
Portland Timbers aren't too far away.
Exactly. Got
what about the Kraken?
Kraken are getting there. They're not quite there yet, I don't think. But you got other stuff to do as well. Mariners, hey, shit, they're good.
They're good. How are they doing for real? I don't hear about that.
They're gonna make the playoffs probably.
They are.
They're in a pretty good spot right now. We'll see. They've put together a nice little season.
Yeah, they're battling with the Red Sox for the wild card spot, but we'll see what happens when
What's happening in baseball? Aaron Judge have 700 homers yet?
Nah, 48, I think.
So what's the record again?
Bonds hit 73.
Golly,
Beast.
73.
Yeah.
Put him in the Hall. God damn it.
What's he doing? He was coach. He was like a hitting coach for like 6 months or something, I feel like.
Yeah, he was for a little bit, and then I think he realized like, none of these guys are any good. They're not as good as I am. So fuck it. Said just either take a walk or hit a homer. I don't know what else I need to teach you.
Yeah.
Like Coach Bear, but what do I do when he throws me this 101 mile an hour strike down the way? He's like, you hit it opposite field, 7,000 feet. What do you mean? That's the
fucking
only
choke up and go the other way with it. What are we talking about
Swing
here?
the stick, damn it.
How Barry's bat looked like it was 12 inches shorter than everybody else's bat.
Yeah, he choked up big time, and he had the handle was all taped up. It was awesome.
Yeah, remember Jeff Bagwell and his sweet loose jersey he would wear?
How could you forget?
Hell yeah.
Backyard baseball with Jeff Bagwell. Yeah, I remember.
Colin, you're 26 and you know who Jeff Bagwell is?
7, prick. And yeah, I know who Jeff Bagwell is. I used to play MLB The Show, okay?
Did you really?
Yeah, and he had that fucking weird stance. And he like hunched over him and whatever that guy's name is, Craig
Biggio.
Biggio.
Craig Biggio. Any of you guys ever play RBI baseball for old school Nintendo?
Oh yeah, all timer.
The original, unbelievable baseball game. I mean,
so
that's an old person's thing, but man, it was awesome. The music, everything about it, they figured that out.
Yeah, it was a great game.
You can play those games still, AJ, if you get the Nintendo Switch for your kids, which we've been trying to tell you. They have all those old Nintendo games that you can play, like the RBI baseball.
Those Switches seem pretty amazing. They seem like they would occupy my kids in the car, too, and they don't want to be on a long car ride. I might have to bite the bullet. Should I do it? Should I get them a Switch?
I think you should, because also you can buy, one Switch, you can play 2 people on that Switch. So if you were to buy 2, you got 4 kids, you could actually have all 4 of them be playing.
Yeah, don't be a cheapskate, dude. Fucking
buy 4.
Make sure your kids have a great Christmas this year.
I mean, I might as well buy 8 because, if you buy 4, 2 will get broken within the first week.
Probably
there you go. Smart. Then you can have one, and your wife can have one. So it's like
whole family.
Oh, look at us. We got about a minute left. I want to ask you quick, man. What's it like with your young baby at home? How different is your life now?
It's pretty different. Kind of just just the baby. That's about it. But it's awesome. It's a good time. She's growing. Going through little milestones and stuff like that. So, the biggest thing, I don't have a lot of time to watch stuff, which I figured, I'd just be watching stuff. That's not really the case. So I feel like I was lied to in terms of that. But outside of that, everything's going good.
That's awesome. How old is she now?
She was 8 weeks or 9 weeks today, I guess, Friday. Yeah.
Go.
Man. Oh yeah. Well, it only gets better and better as they get older. They'll be able to do more and more on their own. You'll love it, Ty. I'm sure you already do. So congrats to you and your wife, Pat. Will be at SmackDown tonight in Detroit. We'll be back on Monday. I guess we can call it an overreaction Monday after all of these final preseason games do get over. Then we're going to have a weird lull for a little bit. But, guys, appreciate you guys back in the studio. We will be back Monday. Cannot wait. Pat, SmackDown tonight. See ya.
I've seen my share of lows, but ever since I let her go, I feel